Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
The mothership has landed.
Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty Mojo 50.
Gentlemen, start your impeachment. Because that's really what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
That's the whole game. It has begun. So not really a blue wave, kind of a blue trickle, but nevertheless the Democrats did pretty darn well last night. That's where we ended up.
I think they have antibiotics for blue trickles.
Blue trickle, yeah. It's going to be a problem. It'll be painful, but yeah, you can take care of that. You know, it's an ongoing infection. You never quite get rid of it.
No.
You know, but you can do your best with certain treatments and a little bit of effort to mitigate the symptoms, and that's what you're really working at right now.
And next time, practice safe politics, for crying out loud.
So as it stands, we predicted the Senate pretty right. They're going to end up by picking up a couple of the Republicans are going to pick up a couple of seats.
I see what you did there. Pretty right.
Pretty right. They did. Thank you. You're right. That's very good. Yeah. And over in the House, looks like the Democrats are going to go ahead and take the House, but not by 45 seats or anything like that. It'll be a handful of seats, maybe as many as 15 or so. Is that what we'll end up with? Probably.
Yeah, something like
maybe.
that.
A little more successful than I thought they'd be. I thought it'd be a little more competitive, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter if they had one seat advantage in the House. They were going to start the impeachments, and that's where we're at. That's it. And then it's being called celebrities, everybody calling for let the impeachments begin. Go after Trump.
That means that he gets removed from office, right?
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean that's when you get impeached, you're out, you're gone.
No, it doesn't. In fact,
that's what happened to Bill Clinton.
And by the way, I'll make that prediction now. Even when they start their impeachment proceedings, if they're able to go ahead and pull that off, he will not be removed from office. That's just where you are.
Yeah.
That's just where you're at. In fact, that'll end up being really bad for them. That's the long term. So, if you would, help us out today and write today's headline. What is the headline after last night's election?
As an example.
Hashtag write today's headline.
Kool-Aid with a C. Did Ted Cruz win last night? You Beto, you bet. That would be a great headline.
I had two of them last night that had to do with the same thing. My first is Dewey defeats Cruz.
Nice. Very nice, yes.
And Beto changed his name to Nacho O'Rourke.
Because he's
Nacho Senator. Exactly. So, hashtag write today's headline. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of really good ones that come in.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Let's see here. Here's one.
There was another one. Cool. Let's see. This was the most important election of our lifetime until 2020.
Yes. And we're on our – by the way, that election season begins now.
Yeah, it actually began a couple of months ago, but yeah, that's right. Officially, we're there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Any others that came in overnight?
Greg McAtee. Marsha Blackburn's wins big in Tennessee. Taylor Swift to write new breakup song. Yeah.
She thought she was going to be impactful.
Mm-hmm.
She really did, because she went hard again last night.
She did.
Late Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
She offered another up. You got to get behind Bredesen, right?
Yeah.
By the way, at Wisconsin Jackhole, hashtag write today's headline, more sandwich makers to invade the house.
Yes. Perfect.
The house.
I get it. I see.
Is there something about changing the name of the house to the kitchen?
There might be. I think that's a good idea.
Because there's more sandwich makers, that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Whatchamacallit, what the guy from, that guy Kim Reynolds from Iowa won?
All right, hashtag write today's headline, get them into us. All right, there's really some good news in all of this. For those of you that were hoping to stave off the blue wave, to say Democrats were not going to do well, the Republicans were going to maintain the House, there's still a lot of good news in this. Number one, the Senate's that's the obvious good news in this thing. The reason it's so important to pick up a couple of extra seats if you're the Republicans is 2020. This challenge is going to happen again. There will be more Republicans up for re-election. That'll be contests in 2020. So it gives them more of an advantage, so they can lose more seats. Yeah, kind of a head start in that. So that's good news. Obviously, it's good news that there are more Republican governors than not. I mean, still, you would expect a much bigger backlash. And I still think that overall, the hidden conservative voters, the hidden Republicans, that's all going to continue to be an issue down the road.
Yes.
That it's going to be harder and harder to model. The other good news is that the models have all changed. In that, and I think this is probably the biggest takeaway and the best news you can, that our prediction over the past months that political correctness is on its way out, that this nonsense of
so good.
Of social justice, snowflakey, all of that crap, hashtag Me Too, we're on the backside of that, because this didn't start a year ago.
No, it's been building and going on for years.
Think about the Obama administration. How many of those stories of the snowflakey, transgender, there's 182 gender. It was almost every day during the Obama administration. You heard one of those outrageous stories where you're like, this is insane.
Yeah. You
have been going through and dealing with all of that nonsense for 10 years, maybe more. I mean, some of it started years before that. So you knew this would be a journey of 10, 20, 50, 25, 30 years, whatever it's going to be. We are on the backside. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel finally with this stuff.
It's like a marathon that we're halfway, more than halfway there.
That's it. That's exactly it. And here's how you know, because Generation Z is tolerating none of that stuff. And the millennials are starting to figure this stuff out. So remember, yes, a lot of the baby boomers have gone away. The Gen Xers had never appreciated that nonsense.
Right.
The millennials are finally getting a pass by the younger generation in Gen Z and also Gen Xers to, hey, you don't have to deal with that crap.
And somebody pointed out last night the next election in 2020 will involve voters who have no recollection from their lifetime of 9/11.
They weren't even alive. Born. They weren't even born yet.
Which is really
Political correctness is on its way out. The world is shifting. That is a good thing. It's going to still take some time, but along the way,
the screen door hit you in the ass.
That's right.
On
We
the
will
way.
mock it. And there's a couple of examples of that, I think. One of the takeaways from last night that kind of supports that idea is every Democrat incumbent, who openly opposed Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So, again, every Democrat incumbent who opposed Brett Kavanaugh in states rated toss-up, ones that were like, well, go either way, they lost their race.
Yep.
Every one of them. And in contrast, the lone Democrat who voted for Kavanaugh, officially, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, won his race. And that was rated a toss-up as well.
Interesting that the hearings had that effect.
Right.
People are just tired of that crap.
Right, and that had nothing to do with Brett Kavanaugh's qualifications or his political ideologies.
Nope.
Nothing. That stat I just gave you had to do with this court of public opinion, the nonsense. That's tied up in the whole political correctness idea. That's what's really going on there.
Yeah.
People are tired of it. We know that is an injustice. We know to claim with no proof that somebody did something 40 years ago and for everybody to sit in judgment is asinine. Because even if he did do that thing 40 years ago, you still have to prove it. Mm-hmm. And if it's just I say it happened 40 years ago. Well, good luck with that. How's the world going to be when they claim that about everybody else, including you?
Remember, if there was no one there to see it, that is the new corroboration.
There
Who
it
was
is.
it that said that? She was a former governor.
Granholm is from Michigan.
There was no one. No one saw it there. So that corroborates her story.
I think it was Granholm.
Wow, it's that kind of garbage. Now the question is, will the Democrats will they see this? Will they recognize what happened in the hearings, or will they be like the NFL?
No, they are so tone deaf on this stuff. They are not. And if the Republicans are smart and they get this together, and we'll see in the next couple of days as all of the votes get dissected more, we'll see what the minority turnout was for Republicans.
Right.
And we've seen things like Brexit, the Blexit, the black exit from the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
That's going to be a continuing trend.
Yeah.
If the Republicans are smart, they will lead with, we are the party of personal freedom. We are not the party of political correctness. Political correctness is not nice. It's not helping. It is stifling. Political incorrectness is saying what you feel. That's the Constitution. That's First Amendment. That's saying what you believe or feel, and if other people don't like it, then walk away. That's what they would lead with.
I don't hold out hope for that.
I think a lot of them will, not because they believe this stuff. A lot of them will because they see that's the winning ticket down the road. And that, by the way, that will be your 2020 contest. Here it is. It is Donald Trump's governing style. That's the whole question.
It's a unique style. He's changed the rules.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That is the whole race for everybody 2 years from now. Yeah. His governing style, not his track record. His track record is open. You could see that. Mm-hmm. I mean, people like me who did not originally vote for or did not support and did not vote for Donald Trump say now, his track record looks pretty good, and I would likely at this point vote for him in 2020. Yeah. The reason I didn't in 2016 was because I vote on track record, and he had no track record. Not just a public office, but the track record he did have was questionable at best because he supported a bunch of Democrats. I know why, but that's the truth of the matter. So 2020, for everybody that is not Trump that is running, the question is, am I going to openly and actively stand with Donald Trump and say this is a new world order when it comes to campaigning, and we're now more bombastic. It's a little more like the movie Idiocracy, right? It's trolling. It's not politically correct.
This could be a lot of fun.
And there's our other good news.
Could be a lot.
There's our other good news. There is a lot to mock along the way.
Thank you, God, for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Right?
Thank you.
That's the whole thing.
She is a gift,
folks. Hang on. Let's put it this way: if right now, this morning, I was reporting that the Republicans maintained the House, what are your hopes over the next what would your hopes be over the next 2 years that they were going to do amazingly great things?
Yeah.
What did they do the last 2 years?
Yeah.
What did they do? Oh, they repealed Obamacare. No, that was not really. They just kind of did a workaround. They didn't officially. They fixed the Veterans Administrative.
No.
They didn't get that done
either.
I know. They balanced the budget. The Republicans that were in with Trump, they didn't do that either.
Not even.
They did next to nothing. The only good that they actually did was the tax bill,
Right.
And the tax bill was not sensational.
No.
The tax bill didn't open it up. The tax bill could have been really simple and set the world on fire. They could have. Here's what they could have done. Corporate tax rate, we're going to take that down to nothing.
Right.
Because corporations shouldn't pay taxes. It should be a pass-through to anybody who owns the corporation. Done. It's just double taxation is what that is. And imagine what that would have done for Wall Street and making America competitive.
Right.
We had been one of the highest corporate tax rates for years. They finally brought them down to a more competitive, but they're still far too high. They should be nothing. And then they said, we're going to go ahead and take your personal income tax rates down to a flat tax or possibly shift to a fair tax, a national sales tax. They could have done that. They absolutely could have. Did they? No. So there's no hope over the next 2 years if the Republicans had maintained the House that they would do what's right.
No.
So we take the victories where we can get them. Because the Republicans have the Senate, it'll stave off some of the trouble for Donald Trump, any removal from office, something like that.
Right.
If he has any more judicial nominations, which there's still some pending, he'll get to have an easier time getting them through. And if Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg ends up going down, if Elena Kagan goes down, if Clarence Thomas decides to resign, guess what? There'll be easier time getting it through. But along the way, folks, you have got so much fun. Again, you're going to have about the same amount of crap regardless. So you might as well get as much fun and mockable opportunity. And I present to you the newest Congresswoman from the state of New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. As predicted, she ended up winning her race, and she has already started giving. Can we listen to some of her speechifying? Here we go. And by the way, someone needs to tell her that she won.
Yeah.
Because she speechified
she did.
for a long, long period. I have an edited version that's like 5 minutes.
She had a lot to say. She had little to say. She just had a long
a lot of
saying.
words.
Yes.
She had so many words from her, but not a lot of substance.
No.
Not a lot of.
No.
And I love, by the way, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez loves her. Some Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yes, she does.
Oh, she likes her. She kept giving this little, that's right look.
The bad news is we're going to have to keep paying the guitar player.
That's okay. We got that in the budget. We knew it was going to happen. Okay, here we go. Here she's speechifying.
Because I thought I was special or unique or better than anyone else. We launched this campaign because in the absence of anyone giving a clear voice on the moral issues of our time, then it is up to us to voice them.
See, nobody was giving a clear
Right.
moral
yeah.
leadership.
Nobody
was giving a voice to the moral issues of our time.
Not until she stepped out of the woods.
In fact, I remember all during the Obama administration when I would bring up morality, it was like, you people are the right, talking about morals. How are you talking this out? So she, the 29-year-old, who lied about her past and is going to give
you don't hear
the
much
moral
about that
voice
anymore.
to...
We launched this campaign because no one was clearly and authentically talking about issues like the corrupting role of money in politics, like the disturbing
corrupting role of money in politics.
There was no money in her political campaign, none, and there will be none in the future. Have you noticed the poster of her? She has a poster of herself on her podium. The podium she's speaking at.
Well, that's an identification. So you look at the podium, you go, yep, that's her.
Has a poster of her, and the poster of her looks like Eva Perón.
Yes, it does.
Don't cry for me, El Bronx. Is it La Bronx?
Bronx is pretty masculine.
Am I supposed to say Bronco?
No, I think it'd be El Bronx.
Okay. I don't know. She's got the whole Eva Perón thing going, both in look and governing style. Okay, here we go.
Rights violations being committed by ICE, by the fact that no one was giving voice to the idea and the notion that an entire generation is graduating with crippling loads of student loan debt, a ticking time bomb for our economy.
Some of us have given a voice to that over the years, and we have pointed out the failure of saying everybody must go to college.
Right.
And who was it that kept pushing everybody has to go to college. Was that
Yeah.
George W. Bush?
No, I don't think
Donald
that was.
Trump?
No.
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. One of her political gods.
If you can't afford college, don't go to college.
There's that.
So few people need college anymore. And let me tell you, a college degree is worth usually the paper it's written on. And
Maybe.
that's about it.
Maybe. Exactly. So, okay. And it's a ticking time bomb. She's very concerned about that financial or fiscal ticking time bomb in America.
Yeah.
Not so concerned about the $22 trillion national debt. And her suggestion that everybody gets Medicare. She's like Oprah out there. You get free health care, and you get free college. See, here's the thing. That is a ticking time bomb, but her suggestions are free college.
Yeah.
So debt is not a ticking time bomb when it comes to government.
No.
Okay.
Of course
that
not.
seems like
now
a bit
you're
of a,
catching on. Now
Everyone
you're
was
catching
talking
on.
about these issues, and when no one talks about them, we have the duty to stand up for what is right. I think about oftentimes that incredible day on June 26th, when despite no attention, despite no media fanfare, despite the fact that no one wanted for us to get the word out on what was going on, we were able to organize everyday people knocking on our neighbor's door, and despite being outspent $4 million, 18 or 13 to 1, despite the fact that we were running against a 10-term incumbent, despite the
a lot of despites.
Yeah, really.
She's despiting a lot of things there. Okay.
that it was her first time running for office, despite the fact
Still more despiting. What's the okay?
that we didn't have the money,
she going
despite
with
the
this?
fact
Whoa.
that I'm working class, despite all those things, we won.
She should have dropped the mic right. Should bitches, boom.
Oh
gone.
no, she had so many more words. She has the drop the mic look.
Yeah, she does.
What up with that?
The crazy eyes just
What's
popped
up with
open.
that, Joe Crawley? What up? Despite that we were outspent 13 or 18 to 1. There's a lot.
13, 18,
14,
17.6 to
15,
1.
16. And these are the type of governing math skills when it comes to the economy that you can expect from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Despite being outspent 13, maybe 18 to 1. That's a pretty big gap there.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's more to get to here. She also heads down the world, or heads down the rabbit hole of metaphors. Here we go.
And that if we are going to turn this ship around as a country, it is not good enough to throw a rock at our neighbor's yard. We need to clean up our own house.
That's
Yes!
right.
How many times have we said
that over and over again. It's not good enough to throw a rock at your neighbor's yard. You have to clean up your own house.
That's right.
And I say this to you this morning. A bird in a sandwich is better than a glass house with people throwing rocks when you get up in the morning because that's early to bed.
Amen, brother.
Right?
Remember.
She should have just gone all the way with that.
That's right. Love sandwiches, use cowbells.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Love sandwiches, use cowbells.
Thank you. I want you to write this down. Can somebody have this embroidered on a pillow for our new studio? There we go.
And that if we are going to turn this ship around as a country, it is not good enough to throw a rock at our neighbor's yard. We need to clean up our own house.
Okay, Brad, we're going to need some help there. We're going to need this graph, I think. We're going to have to diagram this sentence here.
First of all, if we're going to turn the ship around as a country, not as a ship, because it's not a real ship. Metaphorically. By the way, what's a metaphor?
$20, same as downtown.
Thank you.
Okay, let me help you. So I got a ship.
Yes.
But it's not really a ship.
No,
it's not like a ship of the desert even.
No.
That's another metaphorical ship.
It's not like a ship on the ocean.
And it's not, she said, as a country if we want to turn this ship around.
Right.
Does that still mean the ship is the country?
Oh, man, see, that's where she
Or
starts
does she
getting
mean
deep.
the people are the country? If we want to turn this ship around as a country, not as an individual turning this ship around. So the ship may not be the country. The ship may be society.
That's true. This is where it starts getting deep.
Lots of modes of transportation and living assignments are arranged. Okay, so you have a ship and you have the country.
I have a ship
You
now?
You do. And if we want to turn this around as a country, we cannot throw rocks at our neighbor's yard.
No. You might hit somebody.
In their yard?
Yeah, if they're standing in
They
it.
got the slip and slide and stuff
then
and the kids?
And then, yeah. I mean, you might hit a kid. You might hit their pet.
Then what we want to do is clean up our own house.
Which means vacuum your drapes.
So let me understand. There are people out there
Yeah.
that are not trying to turn the ship around as a
No,
country,
correct.
or are turning it around, trying to turn around as a country, and
Right.
failing
Right.
because they are busy picking up rocks and throwing them at
Right.
their neighbor's yard
Yes.
when they should be cleaning up their own house.
Vacuuming their drapes.
So if we as a country all go home today and clean up our own houses, then we will be able to turn a ship around.
Yes, that's exactly right. You just dissected and interpreted Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And this is why we say this is going to be fun.
Yes,
this
yes, it is.
A little bit more from
That's what we gotta do.
poor little thing.
If we continue to believe
Yes.
that we are a threatened, scarce, and limited nation, then that is exactly what we will become.
Oh, wait a minute.
wait.
That was a good one. That was full of things.
Wait, who said we were threatened and scared? And what is she? Did she talk about the caravan? Is that?
Yard, we need to clean up our own house.
Okay, yeah, we're cleaning up
That's
our
what we gotta do.
That's what we got to
We
do.
continue to believe that we are a threatened, scarce, and limited nation.
Threatened and scarce.
scarce, and limited nation.
Do you feel that?
Last week I was saying we are such a limited nation.
It's funny because I was saying scarce. I was thinking
We're
we
a
were
scarce
scarce.
nation, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking so limited. I was thinking we were scarce.
And Ron
Our
was
nation,
saying we're threatened. So
you know,
I had threatened.
population-wise is third in the world,
Threatened,
and
limited,
geographically
and
one of the top
scarce.
5. And I was still thought we were so scarce, though.
Yeah,
scarce.
scarce.
You look around, you can't find our nation.
No.
You can't. We're scarce that way.
Then that is exactly what we will become.
If you think we're scarce, we will become scarce.
Does that mean if I believe I'm a table, if I think I'm a fiddler crab, I'll become a fiddler crab?
Dorothy, it's like you having the power all along to return home.
Oh my gosh! This is
That's all you had to do was click your heels together.
All I needed to do all this
if you
time.
believe, if your faith is strong enough.
I'll miss you most of all.
If I feel threatened, does that make me a Democrat?
That's right. That's exactly how it is, Ron.
Oh, makes you
Ron.
a big sissy.
That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We'll get back to more of her in a minute, but don't forget to hashtag write today's headlines for us as well.
Tower of Babel, Jack Hole said, and I think very succinctly put it into words. Can't wait for the young socialist communist of the Democrat Party to eat the old Democrats.
Oh.
Because she has a healthy appetite.
Thank you. We're going to get to that in a couple of minutes as well. Also, your communiques. Don't forget to hashtag write today's headline. What do you think the headline should be? By the way, those can be funny.
Yes.
Post them all across social media on the Twitter, the Facebook, and the MeWe. More coming up live from the studios of FreedomWorks in Washington, D.C. It's your Daily Mojo. Doc Thompson, Brad Staggs, live from the studios of FreedomWorks. If you get a chance, go to freedomworks.org, freedomworks.org. They got a lot of good stuff coming up. And I like their focus now. Their focus really on rules and regulations in government. And obviously now what's going to happen in the 2020 election.
The most important election of
our
lifetime is
now.
coming
It's
up
coming
in
up.
2020.
That's right. That's
It's 2 years away. Get your campaign buttons early.
where will we be 2 years from now? Well, you'll be dead, but where will
Most likely,
the
yeah.
rest of us be 2 years from
Boy,
now?
I'm going out with a bang.
Listen, if you don't want to be dead, I've got some solutions for you.
Do
Got some
you?
help for you.
All right.
Maybe you should go to SaveYourHeart.com.
It sounds like so much work. It sounds like I'd have to follow many, many steps and do so many things to help save my heart.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, first of all, you have to go to SaveYourHeart.com, and you're old, so that could be kind of tricky for you.
Is that on the interweb?
It is on the interwebs. It's on all of the interwebs, not just one of them.
Whoa.
The interwebs.
How
It's
were they
plural.
able to do that?
Well, they're technically savvy that way, and they're also savvy when it comes to saving your heart. So, Brad,
Yes.
if you want to be around, why not save your heart? Have you considered saving your heart?
You know, I
Given the
haven't.
opportunity to not save your heart or to save your heart, wouldn't you save your heart?
I think so.
It's pretty simple.
Alex, I'll take yes for 500.
Thank you. And what we're talking about is saving your heart from heart disease. Prevent heart disease or even treat heart disease if it's something that you've already been diagnosed with. Many people think that they're getting proper nutrition because they eat a healthy diet full of fruits and vegetables, whole grain, low fat, and such. And that's certainly going to be better for you. But what we've realized with modern farming techniques and the overuse of fertilizers and such, you're just not getting the same quality nutrients that you need. And you're not going to be able to help your heart the same way as you would if you go to SaveYourHeart.com, that's SaveYourHeart.com, or call 77-HEART, 800-77-HEART, and get the Pauling Therapy Essentials formula that'll help stave off heart disease as well as prevent future heart disease. It's all at SaveYourHeart.com, and that's the key right there. All of the details are up and going to be able to explain to you in better detail than we can in just a minute or so how you can treat or prevent heart disease.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it's going to help you, and that's what's important.
Yep.
Pretty simple. SaveYourHeart.com. SaveYourHeart.com. With some of your communiques coming up, also people using the hashtag Write Today's Headline. Democrats' blue wave gets blue waffled. Tell you what, bearded Larky Farkin, we're going to give you a little retweet on that one. Spunk and Bronuts, Nancy Pelosi threatens mass casualty to anyone trying to take her speaker's gavel. And that's the other good news for you this morning. Nancy Pelosi is going to be challenged by all kinds.
Yes.
People like to think that when it comes to the parties that they're sitting around going, oh, the Democrat Party, we love us some Nancy Pelosi. She is our leader in the House. This is great. They are not. Everybody else in the House is saying on some level, even if it's only small, wish I could be Speaker of the House.
Yes.
You don't run for Congress because you don't have a healthy ego
Exactly.
or career objectives that
And
would
you're
be
not driven.
right greater than you simply serving in the House of Representatives. They're all thinking it on some level. And even those that rabidly support Nancy are rabidly supporting her for their own power grab, siding up with somebody that is more likely to become Speaker of the House than they are, or that once they do, when she leaves, they'll be the heir apparent. That's what's going on. Then you've got half of them that have not cared for Nancy's leadership. They thought she hasn't been nearly progressive enough. The Congressional Black Caucus, the young new socialist Democrats that are, promoting that so openly.
Yep.
And the Congressional Black Caucus has already said whoever they support is going to have to guarantee them basically affirmative action seats for black members of Congress.
It's an exciting time.
So what this means is a nasty, nasty battle for the speakership.
A cat fight.
Right, and it doesn't matter, by the way, if they do it quickly. There will be long-lasting effects. Nancy Pelosi does not like this young Ocasio-Cortez.
You don't think so?
Oh, no, because Ocasio-Cortez called her old and said we need a change if they take the House. She's on record openly saying that. She doesn't understand D.C. That's going to be bad for you. Before she was even elected, she said that.
Yep. It's going to be an interesting time in our lifetime.
So let's say for a moment, Nancy Pelosi becomes Speaker. She does battle, right? Promises correct. Where does that leave Ocasio-Cortez? Does that young lass end up with the assignment she wants? Is she going to get her bills through? Nancy is going to punish her because Nancy's also old. Remember, youth and optimism will be undermined by old age and treachery every time.
Unless the Utes band together.
There's
What
not
happens
that
when
is
the
true,
Utes
but
band
there's
together?
not enough Utes in Congress right now. There's not.
Yeah,
the Utes that are out there are Utes that are organizing.
What about the money behind the Utes that have been elected? What if all of that money bands together? I
You'll
mean,
have
at best, at worst, is a fight.
no,
But
you're
it's-
right,
it's
but
gonna be.
yeah, it will be a fight, and there will be some of that, just enough pressure to make Nancy and other people's lives hell. But remember, who did Ocasio-Cortez defeat, and how did she defeat him? Joe Crowley, right? Do you remember her big campaign push when she defeated him? What did she say? Why did they have to get rid of him? Who was he backed by? Wall Street.
Yeah.
She went down the list and explained he is one of the most, or was one of the most, according to her representation of him, bought members of the Democrat Party. That Wall Street just kept funneling money in and gave him this, powerful seat at the table, that he was one of the most powerful members of the Congress, and yet kind of flew under the radar screen, got what he wanted because of corporate America. Okay. Well, do you think those people just said, she's got us? Sorry, she won. We'll just take our money and just go home and play Nintendo.
No, money doesn't do that.
They're simply going to pour their money into other people and things, and they will challenge her. That's all it is. They still back Joe Crowley to try to upset her victory last night in the general. It's not going away. So there is going to be bloody times ahead for the Democrat Party, and it's only going to help the Republicans and help those of us who want a spectacle.
A lot of hair pulling will be taking place.
Yes, that is exactly right. All right, write today's headlines. Hashtag write today's headlines if you've got them.
Kathy in the Berg. Cortez tries to right the Titanic, winds up with a wind-up boat for the tub. Yep, that's so true. Bearded Larky Farkin, self-proclaimed minority, loses to legal immigrant in Texas.
Right. 124th Golden Taint sleeve something. Sleeve.
See?
It just cuts it off. I just
Yes,
want
it
to make sure I
does.
got it off.
Uh-huh.
Said Ocasio-Cortez, so many words despite crazy eyes.
Yes. And so many missed opportunities for the mic drop.
Oh.
So many. If she had just that first one was we won, boom, done. Leave them wanting more.
Kool-Aid with the C heads down a pretty good road with a pretty good headline. Hashtag write today's headline. But I think it could have been done more simply. And I'll offer up a possible change to this. Dems sell their souls. Crypt Keeper, Pelosi, regains control of the House.
Right?
Okay. I would have just said something like Crypt Keeper resurrected.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, split it into two.
Well, I mean, it just simplifies the whole thing,
does.
too, and still
It
takes a
does.
shot at Nancy's age, which
Yes.
that never gets old, does
Yes,
it?
it does.
All right. Hashtag write today's headline if you've got any of these.
By the way, Paula over on Facebook, I think she put it well. It's not a headline, but she said, how could anyone put this old bag Nancy P in? Nasty. She should retire long ago. Yes. And that's true with all of these people who have been
There it is.
serving for 400 years. It's not what it was supposed to be. That is not how this the country was set up. That was not the intention anyway. People go up, come to this town, and a hell of a town it is. They come here, they do their bit for their country, in service of their country, then they return to their jobs.
That's what they're supposed to do.
That's what they're supposed to do.
By the way, did Rod Bloom end up losing last night? I was just thinking about that in Iowa. I got to check that out as well because that's a good example of it or whatever, of what we're talking about. You know, there's something else real quick while we look this up. When you're dealing with, let me make sure here, Rod Bloom lost.
Yep.
Yeah, 100% in. Yeah. Finkenauer in the 1st Congressional District of Iowa. Rod Bloom, a businessman who came to D.C., served a couple of terms, did real well. Now I'll go back to his job. Let it all out there. So good deal. But even if the Republicans take that seat in 2 years, it's still a loss for D.C. because Rod was one of those guys who didn't care and said what, spoke his mind, said it.
Right.
What people don't remember is, and this is just kind of fun little Capitol Hill stuff, the party in power in the House of Representatives controls policy for the House. In other words, all of the little things about the congressional dining room,
There's an important topic.
the signs at the
Yeah.
Capitol, all of these little protocols on how the House operates.
Right.
It's not just, well, we'll be in session these days. They control that, the schedule. But it's everything. It's, the temperature in the building. It goes down to small thing. All of those are controlled by whichever party is in power, specifically the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House has enormous power, incredible, can control almost unilaterally what gets to the floor and what does not when it comes to a vote. And every bit of protocol, from the temperature of the building to what is served in the cafeteria.
Wait, Nancy Pelosi has control of the thermostat, and she has hot flashes, so she likes it cold. She and I would get along fine.
Yeah, this is
All right, we're good.
Well, I think it's going to be one of those up and down things. Damn it.
We're not so good.
Right. I mean, she's like, why is it so hot in here? Turn the temperature.
It's too cold.
Right. This is what's
Turn
going to
it
be.
up.
But what Nancy has done in the past is ban smoking out in and around the Capitol. When John Boehner, big smoker, when he was Speaker then, he allowed smoking, for example, even out on the Speaker's terrace, because the Speaker of the House of Representatives has their own little
Are you
their little balcony.
suggesting that government officials actually create rules that are beneficial to them, despite the fact that they go against the rules that we've created for society?
No, I'm absolutely saying that.
Okay, I just wanted to.
But
make
it's
sure.
even better, Brad. The crazy ass stuff where the congressional cafeteria and anywhere where there's food and that's served,
Right.
under Nancy's last regime, had to have all biodegradable plastic utensils. So they had to have those bullcrap little paper forks. Those wooden / paper ones that
Yes.
don't actually work.
And the paper straws.
Right, and you had to get rid of styrofoam, but then even paper was a problem.
Yeah.
They had to serve only certain types of things that were healthy, and they had to have, green vegetables as well as orange. It had to be diverse. I'm serious. It was all this nuttiness with the food. This is also what they're concerned about.
Well, they got to stay healthy.
No, it's not about that. It's about the political correctness and all the marketing of this stuff. But it's going to be fun to hear all of those and how those stories change as well. More good news for you. Even though Nancy's back, at least Paul Ryan is gone. There's some good news.
Oh, we're all very sad.
Paul Ryan did his 20 years, now gets a full salary as part of his pension.
For life.
For life. And because he served as Speaker of the House for a while, that bumps up. Speaker of the House is paid very well, the highest paid member of Congress.
And he gets health. Does he get health care for the rest of his life?
At least some of it, yeah. He's vested in some of that.
That should be criminal.
In 20 years.
It really should be.
Well,
criminal.
here's how you know, Brad. Think about it. What is his retirement versus the average service member who puts 20 years in the Air Force or the Marines, Navy, Army?
And again, it should be criminal. It
Right.
should be criminal.
So you take somebody that's not. You take somebody that's an enlisted man but did real well, like a Master Chief,
right.
right? Somebody like that. Somebody a Master Sergeant. It does pretty well. Paul Ryan makes far more in retirement than they do for serving 20 years in the lap of luxury. And what was their job? Legislating? Governing? No. It was being a connector, right? Being a puppet at times, and not for the people of their district.
Right.
So
It's if we knew if we and we should pay more attention to everything that these people do once they leave off. It would. I want to say it would cause a revolution, but maybe it wouldn't. I mean, you get to a point where you realize, what the hell can I do to change it? Elect different people, but still it continues. This crap continues of them voting themselves different rules, different benefits.
it's okay. That's the reason you keep banging on them like we do. This is it.
I just, at some point, you get frustrated that nothing seems to change.
Well, and that's just it. Even like during the last 2 years of the Obama administration, people started becoming energized for the general election, new president in 2016, and obviously the momentum and all the people on stage, and then Trump. Yeah, but it was so overwhelming and so heavy, and that's the reason I'm like, guys, no, we cannot change this by ourselves. It's never static. You never get to a point where you go, there it is.
Right. Yeah.
How do I know? Because times we've done that, and what happens? We end up with more bad.
Yes.
The work never ends. So maybe start enjoying the work a little bit more.
Right.
And what has been the motivating factor, the one overwhelming emotional motivator for decades now on both sides? Which emotion? Happiness, greed, anger. That's it. But people overplay their hand on both sides. How many times over the last 10 years have you been like, I just can't listen to the news today. I've just got to get away from it. We know in radio, we would see our ratings across the board in talk radio fluctuate significantly after an election. Didn't matter who won. It was like the next day everybody stopped listening to talk radio. They didn't want to hear it. And you're going, okay, it's just, a month and a half till Christmas. Let's just get to Christmas and stop, because it's overwhelming. One of our mistakes, is thinking we can put all of this away, that we've done some good. It's never a victory that you could just hang your hat on and be done with this. We fight this fight every day, and in order to stay engaged, you must have some other outlets other than anger. And that's where humor.
You must have some pharmaceuticals and alcohol.
That's it. It's the mockery. It is the humor. If you don't have that entertainment value in this stuff, you're going to not be engaged like you should. Right? Pull back and look at this spectacle. Think how funny.
It is a circus.
Think how funny this is. As a country, we, for the last months, have been so focused on crap like a guy who is white, who goes by a Hispanic name, in order to get elected, to try to defeat a guy who is actually a Hispanic in one state that we have no say over unless you actually are in Texas.
And still, he's not your senator.
And he's not your senator. They poured tens of millions of dollars into his campaign because they just thought he looked so nice and he said nice things.
But what they did accomplish, they gave him the national stage.
Right.
He is now a household name, I would, to a certain degree, and he is poised and ready for the presidential election, which probably likely was what they had in mind all along. They probably figured they never could defeat Cruz. They may have been surprised they got as close as they did.
I just think it is funny. It doesn't – if you're in Vermont or Washington or Florida or something, it doesn't affect you.
No, of course not.
But this became one of the key focuses. It's the drama. I mean, aliens, if they're watching this, are like, what the hell are they doing? What? And everybody gears up for it. Well, you see what's going on. You count those. Okay, these people. Mind you, you knew the outcome. You knew the outcome last night. You knew what it was going to be. It was going to be one of two things, Republicans or Democrats.
Yeah.
That's the other crap. So half of the Republicans don't really like the Republican Party. They just like it more than the Democrats, and the same thing with the Democrats.
Yeah.
Yet we allow these two groups. It's one or the other, folks. You got to have one or the other.
It's the two stooges. In
America, supposedly the freest place on which we know it's not anymore on the planet, company liberty and freedom, you get two choices.
Yeah. And
you want bad or worse? What do you want?
Try to start a third one, and the other two, they have enough money and power to just edge you right on out.
And we put up with this. This is so mockable and so funny. How about this? Okay. So speaking of beta, let's get some reaction from celebrities, because that's the other part of this. You got to have celebrities.
Yes.
So let me get this straight. We need to get some reaction from some smart people that understands global fiscal policy, understands the macro of what countries are dealing with their fiscal policies and how our country will flourish. We need somebody to speechify and explain to us about international security and safety.
Let's
and
get
terrorism.
people who pretend to be somebody else.
Great idea.
I think that's what's for lunch.
Not educated, not smart.
No.
We don't know any of the educational backgrounds of anybody that sings songs or acts for a living. We don't know any of that, but we go, oh, my gosh, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt says I should get out and vote blue. Yeah. Okay.
Brad and Leo.
And he once played the president.
Yes. And Taylor Swift sings really good songs.
She does. Let's go ahead and listen to her. That is hilarious. And even today, it's like, okay, let's get reaction. Alyssa Milano said, Beto lost. That's okay. Now he can run for president.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Alyssa.
So, do you think this morning, if we were announcing Beto won, that she'd be going, darn it, he can't run for president now?
Yeah, no.
No, she'd be going, woo! Beto #1, woo!
Yeah.
And by the way, he could still run for president then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now that he lost, he can run. He wouldn't have been able to run before because Obama couldn't run for 143 days.
They made lemonade. They made lemonade out of lemons.
No, they're not making lemonade. They're lying about their opinions and beliefs here.
Don't tell them that.
They're licking their own wounds. They do those sort of sick things in Hollywood. Olivia Wilde, whoever that is, said, Beto 2020, let's do this.
Yeah.
And Busy Phillips. Busy Phillips. You know Busy Phillips.
Busy. No, I have
Busy
no idea.
Phillips.
Who is Busy Phillips?
I don't know.
Okay.
Said Beto Gillum 2020. Now that Gillum lost, he can run for vice president.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have an update here. Busy Phillips is hot. Make sure she. Oh, good. Whew. For a second there, it was Teen Choice Awards.
I was
like,
Brad, I want to rescind what I said.
I meant she. No, she's 39.
So. It's funny because the Associated Press, that unbiased news outlet,
right? Yes, them.
Tweeted out a video. It's a couple minutes long, and the accompanying text says, "Win or lose, Beto O'Rourke set to emerge victorious." They cannot let this guy lose. He lost. He lost by 4 or 5 points even. It wasn't even that close.
But I can see what they mean. If the intent was simply to spend that money to put him on the stage.
No, but that's not what AP means. The AP means, hey, let's make it look like he won.
Right.
That's what they're doing, carrying water. Here's what they have to say about it. Listen to this reporter, too. Here we go.
Beto O'Rourke's breakout bid to topple Republican Senator
Beto O'Rourke's step-out bid to win the Senate seat. Ted Cruz, that incredible
She went to
racist.
reporter school.
I just went to reporter school where everything is has to sound
huge
like
student
this.
Debt. She has after learning how to do that, she has huge student debt. You feel bad for her.
Oh, my gosh. Especially female reporters believe that they need to sound like this.
At least she's not saying, Beto O'Rourke?
She may get to it. Let's hear. Here we go.
Beto O'Rourke's breakout bid to topple Republican Senator Ted Cruz in deep red Texas.
He wants higher taxes.
Has dominated the 2018 elections like no other race. Rallying Democrats and drawing massive airtime and money.
You all ready to win?
Political veterans say if the skateboarding El Paso congressman even comes close to a victory over arch-conservative Cruz, his political future will just...
Arch-conservative.
Almost exclusively, you hear the word arch applied now as arch enemy, right?
Skateboarding.
Right.
Beto. Arch-conservative.
Arch-conservative. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Taking off. Reuters political reporter Tim Reed has been following his rise.
Even if Beto O'Rourke loses his Senate bid, he still emerges a winner, as does the Texas Democratic Party. I've traveled to Texas a couple of...
They wasted tens of millions of dollars getting a white guy national attention. And you want this guy to run for president. The white guy? Okay, good.
Times in recent weeks, and the energy surrounding his campaign has been huge. He's been drawing crowds in Texas that no Democrat has drawn for many, many years.
So many of you are working a second or a third job just to make ends meet.
O'Rourke has stitched together a coalition of young suburban and Hispanic voters, amassing a $70 million war chest, more than Cruz, with savvy social media, while refusing to take outside money.
And then sending some of that money to the caravan.
And Cruz is such a dick. Meanwhile, Beto loves his mom and puppies. Yeah. Ted Cruz is an arch-conservative who wants to see people die
in the streets.
All of this in a state where registered Republicans still outnumber Democrats by hundreds of thousands.
He is a national phenomenon. You don't just see Beto buttons and Beto t-shirts in Texas. I've seen them all across America as I've traveled across the country in recent weeks. And while he has dismissed talk of a future White House bid, many people in the Democratic Party would love him to run.
But before all that, O'Rourke is still hoping to become the first Texas Democrat elected to the U.S. Senate since 1998.
So that's what they ran just days before the election. Win or lose, that would have been, they tweeted this as of yesterday, midday even. As recently as that. Yep. Win or lose, Beto O'Rourke set to emerge victorious. Wow, that's great. That's wonderful.
And how much did it cost? How much did he spend? 70-something?
No,
he has a $70
million war chest. Ted Cruz has 15 cents and some gum wrappers. That's all he has. He forgot
his pocket lint.
And pocket lint.
He has pocket lint too.
How far is that going to get him? The arch conservative. Hey, you probably, if you're a conservative, and part of the reason we're telling you, there's some good news too, is you probably lost some sleep last night, likely to lose some sleep in the future over this.
What's sleep?
Yeah, Brad didn't get any because that's, we were up really late and he was drunk.
Well, you don't bring somebody like me to the city of hookers and blow.
I know. It's a mistake on my part. I understand that. And I didn't get much sleep last night because of the late hours, the booze, as well as the fact that I'm away from home and I don't have my Element copper mattress. Element mattress is heaven all night long. I'm like, Element mattress, Element.
Sleeping
Element
mattress sucks.
Element mattress. Get an Element mattress today at elementmattress.com. You'll love them. I have an Element mattress. I have for a couple of years now, and it is simply the best mattress I've ever had. You get the best night's sleep. This is an investment in your future. You spend about a third of your time in bed. Some people, depending upon their profession, a lot more. But
some people even sleeping.
Depending on their political party, they spend a lot more as well. Those Democrats, a lot more time in bed. And it's also their profession. But regardless, make sure you have a quality mattress so you get a good night's sleep and you are your best all day long. Go to elementmattress.com, and the copper mattress they have has little copper fibers woven into it. It's soft, it's wonderful, but it's also naturally antimicrobial and antifungal. And in D.C., that's particularly important.
Such hate for the microbes.
You were talking about say an Element mattress in your sleep.
Element mattress.
Yeah, Matt Locke could tell you how to build the damn mattress. In a dissertation and not even wake up.
He talks in his sleep there.
Oh my God!
Okay, we got to dive into that more.
I was going to say.
I'm going to tell you,
does he keep you awake?
He will have a conversation with whoever it is he's talking to.
Is it a loud conversation?
Yes.
So it's just like
it wakes.
So he never stops.
I have to room with him anytime we go, but it wakes me up.
I have
Here's
to
what you want to do
with him.
It wakes me up.
Here's what you want to do. You want to record that. Because
I'm going
then he doesn't have to come into work. Just record that. Why is he coming in?
Across America, people want to know why Ron is sleeping with Matt.
Well, we'll give you those details coming up. But in the meantime, go to elementmattress.com. That's elementmattress.com. Use the promo code MOJO50, and you'll get a 50% discount while supplies last.
Wow.
MOJO50 is the promo code when you go to elementmattress.com. More of your communiques coming up, including you. Hashtag write today's headline.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. has landed.
Hi there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs, your Daily Mojo, live from FreedomWorks in Washington, D.C. Doing a postmortem on last night's elections. It's about what we expected, maybe a little more of a blue push than I was expecting in the House of Representatives.
Who doesn't like a good blue push every now and then? You know,
it depends on how pushy it is, how forceful.
Right.
You know,
gentle. A gentle blue
I mean, if
push.
you're talking a blue push from like Kevin Spacey.
Right, yeah, no, you don't want that. That just makes you feel like you need a shower.
Or like a, Bill Cosby blue push, something like that.
You mean the push and
right.
the pill
that's
and the
That's gonna
pudding
be a little
and
rough for you
people.
there. Not that level of push. But some good news. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that DeSantis ended up becoming the next governor of Florida. Mm-hmm. I really thought he was going to lose that, and that's really important. Florida is now the third most populous state, surpassing
or as we like to refer to it, God's waiting room.
Right, not so much anymore. I mean, it certainly is, but it's not just old people anymore. Mm-hmm. You've also got some brown people and old brown people. You got old brown people down there. No, it is the third most populous state. It surpassed New York now. It is responsible for a lot of legislation, money, and influence in America. And Florida is not a blue state. It's split, but still leans more red if you look at it.
And no income tax.
No income tax. There's a lot of good stuff in Florida. So having Florida be a state that conservatives can still play in is going to be a really good thing. And Governor Scott, I expected him to be elected the senator from Florida. That's a really good thing. So really good things out of Florida. Mike DeWine got elected governor of Ohio. Claire McCaskill lost her Senate re-election campaign in Missouri. That's a good thing.
Had the longest concession speech.
She just kept going. It's like, Claire, let me get this straight. You lost. Do you think you lost because people want to listen to you? Do you think people are like, we love listening to Claire just speechify over and over about her ideas and values and what she's accomplished? No. They want you to go away.
It's been fun. It's been real. Thank you.
It's like,
good night.
Right, it's like getting a divorce and going, you know what I want? I just want to sit and listen to you more.
Yes.
That's why we're getting a divorce.
Yeah.
No.
Can you just every night, can I just come over and hear you whine?
I know. No. You get the hell out. You're done here.
Take your crap with you.
It's like, Claire, you lost. And then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she won. And great, so you think we want to speechify, but you won, accept victory.
Yes.
She's like my son Cubby. We tell him yes, and he still asks.
Take yes for an answer.
Because I've never understood. I get kids who don't take no for an answer. Like I remember as a kid, and even a couple of my other kids, it's like, can I just no? Can I just no? Can I do this? No. My mom is like, if I would have said yes, would you keep asking? And I was like, no. Cubby keeps asking. He'll be like, I want to go get ice cream. Okay, we'll go get ice cream. I want to go get ice cream. I just said we're on our way to get ice cream. Can we get ice cream? I just said yes. That's her.
That's a teachable moment.
Listen, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you won. Shut up.
Mic drop. Walk off.
You're talking past the sale, right?
Yeah, big time.
All right. Anyways, if you've got communiques, get them into us. It's at Real Brad Staggs, at Doc Thompson Show. And, of course, please follow us as well as at Mojo50 Radio.
Steve 42.
Look,
Write today's headline. The House of Representatives blew itself.
Nicely done. See, Ron, I've got the little vote for me arrow last night that they had here, some little props at FreedomWorks. And then I got this version.
Yes, and for those of you listening and not able to see
What's
the
it
video.
say? What's it say?
Pakink AF.
That's Doc Thompson. Everyone knows me. Pakink AF, baby.
Pakink autofocus.
Okay, sounds good.
That's what that means.
Other big winner last night, MojoWildRice.com. Huge winners last night. Gargantuan.
Who?
MojoWildRice.com.
Yes.
Huge winners. They're always winning.
Yes.
So much winning from them. Winning. They're always winning. They have got a product like no other. I've worked at companies, at radio outlets, at media companies that you just know you had something. You know your product, your service is good, and you're like, okay, good. And you got that extra spring in your step, that gleam in your eye. Okay. And I've worked for some where you're like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we work over, and you're just, you're kind of, trying to sell something that's not all that good.
Yep.
The folks at MojoWildRice.com, they know they got something. They've got a product that is unlike anything else in the world. It is the only native grain in North America. It's incredibly healthy. It's online with one of the superfood grains like quinoa, even healthier though. Naturally gluten-free, cholesterol-free. It's almost a complete protein by itself with trace minerals and vitamins. Uber healthy, but it tastes fantastic. Just a little butter, salt, and pepper, and you are good to go. That's a meal. So if you're somebody there's a lot of picky eaters out there that don't like spicy things or whatever, get this rice. It has a good flavor, salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of butter. You are golden. You can eat this round the clock. Like the kids only eat mac and cheese or something.
Yep.
I bet they'd actually like this.
Oh, yeah.
Especially a little pat of butter.
You can also take it to the sweet route, too. Put some maple syrup on it.
Oh, yeah, you could take that. Absolutely.
Some fruit.
You might consider trying some different recipes for the holidays. This would be a good thing on Thanksgiving to say this is the only native grain in North America, right? This is something the Indians would have eaten and served.
This is what Elizabeth Warren eats. This is what she eats on a daily basis.
This is the powwow chow. I think this is like 96% of all of her recipes start with MojoWildRice.com
Exactly.
because, it's Native American, just like Elizabeth Warren. They also have other great edible memories from the Northwoods of Minnesota. Try them today. 40 dozens of flavors of jelly. I don't know if it's dozens. I know it's over a dozen. Many.
A billion.
A bunch.
There's a
whole
billion
lot.
different flavors.
I'd go on there and count right now because I'm sure I got it wrong and everything's a challenge. Maple syrup, other fruit syrups, and waffle
Fried
mixes.
buffalo. It's amazing. Just amazing.
MojoWildRice.com. That's MojoWildRice.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
And the profound headlines brought to you by Mojo Wild Rice, now featuring millions of flavors of jellies and jams on their website. It's amazing. Takes you days to get down the list.
Yes, I said we could get some wild rice. I said yes, we'll get some. Yes, I just said yes.
We're going to talk nothing about politics in these headlines either. We're going to talk about John Stamos. Says he accidentally masturbated to Fuller House at a fertility clinic.
Hold it. Hold it.
You
Folks,
said he didn't want politics. I give you not politics.
Brad, I saw this story yesterday.
Yes.
It is so powerfully disturbing. I actually sent this to Brad and said, I don't know what to do with this.
So many
I said,
levels.
we have to talk about this. I don't know if we could talk about this.
We're talking about this.
Okay. Sensational and bizarre.
Yes.
Okay, we would cover that. Then it becomes so creepy each additional word he says. The creep factor is off the chart. This is John Stamos' cousin Jesse said he pleasured himself.
To himself. He went into, so he's on Busy Phillips' new e-talk show. Wow, her name's going to pop up.
Busy Phillips, what? She has a talk show?
Yes, she has a talk show on E, so he's on her talk show. Wow. See how all this is coming full circle now?
Okay, wait. So he talks to Busy Phillips about getting Busy Phillips.
Getting busy because he and his wife, Caitlin, were trying to get pregnant with their son, Billy.
Okay, so he's on the talk show, and he's saying, we were trying to get pregnant, and
I had to go to this fertility place. And he says, I've been waiting to tell this story.
Okay, see, that's the part that's creepy. He said several times in this, while telling it, he's like, oh, my gosh, I've been waiting to tell this story. So I'm watching Full House and decided to masturbate. And, oh, my gosh, I so want to share this with you about me pleasuring myself to myself and to some little girls. And I've so wanted to tell this. He keeps saying that.
This is the weird part. Okay, so they go to the fertility clinic. He's 55. They take him into a private room. They offer him materials. Doesn't your wife go with you to the fertility clinic?
Mine
I'm just
does.
saying.
I mean,
if you're there with your wife and you have to produce a sperm sample, I mean, what's wrong with saying, "Hey, honey, come on in here with me"?
No, here's the thing, though.
What?
That's why you want to go to the fertility clinic, because the wife's not with you. There's other options.
Gotcha. Like watching yourself on TV.
Excuse me, can I get a hand in here? Excuse me. Let me ask you something.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you're the director. This is a little sidebar action here. You're the director of a fertility clinic.
Mm-hmm.
You're the hiring manager. It's going to be a prerequisite that they're hot.
Oh, yes. I mean, because you don't want to. You go in there, you're going to have to provide.
Let's get this show on the road.
You don't want Nurse Ratched sitting there and you're going, wah, wah,
right.
wah.
This is about efficiency.
Yes.
This is a for-profit clinic.
Yes.
In and out, baby. In and out. Let's
Yes.
go.
And his the best quote is Stamos saying, if I go, hey, if I'm going to masturbate to myself, it's going to be my old self. Not the new one.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
We're done here.
Yeah.
Good night, Steve Cannon.
Let's just.
Wait a minute. Okay, so was this his option? Did they say, "Hi, Mr. Stamos, here's your room, and there'll be some materials. Here's a little cup. Is there? Let me flip through, go through YouTube and find anything.
Up.
What do you want off YouTube? Full House. Was that how it played out, or was that?
He swears he turned on the TV.
And that's
turned
what
on
came
the TV
up?
and that's what came up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or was it, okay, you've got an option between Full House or the Hustler channel? And he told Full House.
He says it was
So he
Fuller
said-
House. That's even better.
So it's the little girls grown up? He's like, finally, they're adults.
Well, he says he was looking at himself. So I'm not sure if he's saying
There's
that
no
he
easy
was-
way out of
that he was creepy looking at them or just weird looking at himself.
All of it, creepy
Right.
and weird.
So
Okay, so he's saying he flipped on the TV. So when you go to a fertility clinic, and Ron Phillips
Ron Phillips.
probably has some firsthand knowledge of this. When you go to a fertility clinic and you flip on the TV, do they have regular TV as well? I thought they just went to porn. You can't watch the news too, can you?
Those records are sealed.
Okay.
But then how do they know what you like? Because when you start look at the categories of porn. I read this somewhere. There's a gazillion. There are more than there are.
Okay, but is
Jan's
one of the categories CNN?
I'll bet it is.
But okay, I mean now you're just
there's
getting,
news anchors' feet.
No, I know that, but I mean you're going for the big takeaway here. You're not going to say
No, you're going in for the big giveaway.
the big giveaway here. You're running the fertility clinic. You're saying let's have every possible contingency. Okay, we want CNN news anchors left toes with great lighting while sitting at a buffet in China.
Midgets,
I mean, come on.
Midgets riding llamas.
Right, I'm saying no. There's there's a limited collection, I would think, and Fuller House is one of them.
Here, you get the John Stamos special.
Okay, let's see. Here are your options. Here, you have girl on girl. You have lady boys. You have creepy pedophile. What's on the creepy pedophile? What do you got there? A Full House. Yeah, I think that's right.
Wow. Creepy pedophile.
Those are your three categories.
Alex,
Sorry.
I'll take creepy pedophiles for $500, please.
And the trouble there is then you have to kind of play it off. Yeah, any of them's fine.
Oh,
any
hey,
of them.
whoa.
I mean, I'll take any of those. But, it just occurs to me I watched some girl on girl last night. So either one of the other two. Either one of the other two. And, lady boys,
That's for people who can't decide. Just make a choice, would you?
I mean, I guess the third option, whatever that was you said, just the last one.
By the way, I do believe that ladyboy is politically incorrect.
What is it?
I believe it is transitioning. Is it not?
Not when it comes to porn. That's also known as chicks with aren't those the same category?
I think they might be.
I mean, we did some research last night.
Yes, yeah. Well, and you almost feel guilty calling it research when you do it that way.
Okay.
I'm making the company pay for it either way.
Okay.
Have we beaten this dead horse yet? Is it dead? Is it bleeding on the ground?
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, real quick, one final notation, and this is specifically targeted to the Beverly Hills Police Force, Beverly Hills PD. You might want to check Stamos' search history. FBI, maybe look at that browser history there.
Yeah, it's creepy on a lot of levels. And remember, when you have to visit the fertility clinic later today, take a picture of John Stamos. Billionaire Microsoft founder Bill Gates has unveiled his latest project, a futuristic toilet that doesn't need water or sewers. You wondered what Bill Gates was doing. Now you know.
Is it high tech? Is it computer?
It's this whole thing. And I didn't realize this. He drank poo water one day. Did you realize that? He did, just to prove sewage could be turned into
just
drinkable
assumed
water.
That's why you want to become a business owner or a billionaire, so you don't have to eat crap.
Well, he apparently wanted to.
I mean, the rest of us work for the man. We have to eat crap all the time.
Every day.
But you're a billionaire. You still have to eat that stuff?
Big mouthfuls of it.
Wow, that's
the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is the inventor of this research project. It's the world's biggest private philanthropy organization. Wow, I almost said philanthropy right. So the toilet thing, yes, it does not use any water. It uses only chemicals to turn human waste into fertilizer. So not only do you get more efficient, you get bigger tomatoes.
Oh, well, that's all right.
And
then.
who doesn't want to go and get bigger tomatoes?
Right.
We'll tweet a link just in case you want to get one of those toilets. They're about to go on sale. Kendall Jenner's hairstyle for Vogue has been called offensive and the latest example of cultural appropriation. And I did tweet this picture out. Kendall Jenner. She just had a photo shoot with Vogue.
How many are they? What?
Yes. Is that an appropriate hairstyle for someone who is white bread?
Okay, I'm just going to say it is wrong that she culturally appropriated a hairstyle from ugly people.
It is.
That's not based on race. That's just bad.
That's just bad hair.
Listen, stop culturally appropriating Phyllis Diller's
right.
hairstyle.
You know it is. That is Phyllis Diller. I'm sure someone out there, I don't believe anyone would take this picture and put it with a picture of Phyllis Diller.
Is there anybody younger that I could have plugged in there?
Not really, no. Because
who has crazy big hair?
Not really anybody now.
Right.
Not like that. So they're saying it's the latest example of cultural appropriation. No one mentioned the ugly freaking dress.
And whose hairstyle is that? What
That's
culture?
They're saying that it's mimicking an afro.
It's not.
No, it's just frizzy, ugly, not really good hair.
Right, it's not tight enough to be a fro.
And come on, that dress, really? That is just hideous.
It's bad.
It looks like some Victorian era met slutty Madonna.
Victorian era hookers.
Which, was not bad on some people. It just does not seem to work for Miss Jenner.
And by the way, even if she is culturally appropriating it, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing.
And sadly, now Kendall Jenner can share her clothes with her mother.
New from Kendall Bruce Jenner.
It's really, man, this is a strange world in which we live. We'll get to more of your headlines in just a moment, but first, a word about dog tag furniture.
Love the dog tag furniture.
That's more than a word.
And I think they're supported by PETA. I mean, they support dogs having tags and the furniture on which dogs that have tags can live, right?
Yeah,
is that the company?
I think you're probably
maybe I just look at the script
yes,
here.
I think that's a better idea.
Dog tag furniture at dogtagfurniture.org. They do have an awesome story, and they're doing a lot of good in the world. And I think it's amazing that people have, how can I put this? Some people that supposedly believe in innocent until proven guilty,
right,
have automatically condemned dog tag furniture because of vicious rumors that have not been proven. There were questions about their fundraising and spending the money appropriately. We've looked into it. There was nothing to substantiate any of the claims, and likely it's a bunch of leftists who don't like them. Yet some people still are like, well, we don't know.
Right.
Do you believe in innocent until proven guilty or not? Everything that I've seen from dog tag furniture shows me that they are doing an overwhelming amount of good in the world. They're the only veterans organization that is dedicated to helping pay for the funerals of veterans. And the problem with the funeral costs, that likely a veteran dies, they're going to get saddled, or their family will, with thousands of dollars in debt. Thousands of dollars.
That, too, should be criminal.
If you are a veteran, one of the main reasons you're fighting, that you're willing to serve, is, of course, for freedom and for America, but for your families and your posterity, so your kids have a world to grow up in. They have in America.
So
you're out there sacrificing for your family, so you die and they get stuck with a $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 bill.
But the Speaker of the House retires and gets $225,000 a year for life.
Thank you.
It's stunning when you think about it.
Go to Dog Tag Furniture. Check out their amazing wooden flags. Buy one today. In fact, you can get a 30% discount using the promo code MOJO50. 30% off. MOJO50 is the promo code you're going to want to use. Free shipping, which helps. So that you get them now for in time for Christmas. And you're going to be helping veterans. They send that money, the money that they make off it, the profits, to paying for the funerals of veterans. It's a great cause. Dogtagfurniture.org. It's dogtagfurniture.org.
It is Wednesday, November 7th. There are 47 days until Christmas. Just thought you'd like to keep track. And remember, buy me something pretty. It's also National Stress Awareness Day.
We're not aware of stress?
Oh, I think we're all very aware of stress. This is the day to identify and reduce the stress factors in your life.
Stress Awareness Day. We call it Matlock Day.
Yeah. Each and every day. So get rid of some of your stress.
Listen, look. Some of us have stress. Look.
You suppose he's rolling around right now on his pillow, waking up, lifting his pretty little head off the pillow.
Ron, when he talks in his sleep, does he ever go, look? Does he ever say that?
Actually, no.
Okay. That's
no,
coming.
he actually has a decent conversation.
With himself.
Yeah, and it's not like yelling like he does on the air. It's not. It's just he's talking. But the bottom line is he's having a full-blown conversation.
Does he do the other side of the conversation, or is it a monologue?
No, it's a monologue.
But is it a monologue where he's waiting for somebody? Is he like this?
He doesn't ask a question. He's always making statements.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but is he reacting to a voice in his head, or is it more like on the air?
I have no idea, but it freaks me out.
Interesting.
Literally, that's just crazy.
More on that coming up immediately following this broadcast today, about an hour and a half from right now.
It was in 1991, this day. How do I phrase this? He was positive. Well, you know what you're going to get.
Yes. Positive. Wait a minute. Hold it. Magic Johnson.
Yes, HIV positive, and he's still kicking today. So he's
Come on, man. Come on.
You don't think he had it?
This is one of the greatest. It's not even a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy.
What to accomplish what though?
Up until Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
If somebody came up, I am HIV positive. Start the clock.
Right.
The countdown is on.
Right.
They'll be dead in under 10 years and probably more like 4 or 5.
Right.
By the time they come out and tell you this.
Right.
Magic Johnson has had it for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, people stop dying from it. Not in mass anyways. No. We have a cocktail of drugs that you could take and you'll survive. Do you remember it was like overnight? It wasn't.
It was very strange. It was very strange the way the whole thing.
I don't know. Some people claim, well, the government invented this disease to kill off the queers. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying somehow there was a treatment had that only rich people could get. I don't know. It's just not as we were told it was.
Because this was 10 years after, wasn't it Rock Hudson? Didn't he come out walk out that door like in 81? And everybody went, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Was it even that early, 81? It was early 80s.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like somewhere around 81. And I remember the shock. You're looking at Rock Hudson going, whoa. And that was, I don't know, this is just a weird, but it did happen on this day back in 1991. In 1944, this happened for a third time for the last time.
One more?
In 1944, it happened for the third time for the last time.
I don't know.
FDR. Reelected a third term as president.
How'd that work out?
Ain't happening no mo. That's not your senator. It's not your president.
Nope.
Lord is 21 today. There'll never be royals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Diamonds on a gold chain. Maybach's in your garage. That sort of thing.
What's that?
The Maybach, the Diamond Curie, that's some car.
She talks about having one of those?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Madame Curie would be 151 today, but she's been dead for a while. Joni Mitchell is 74. Just her career has been dead. Bonnie Nyland is 15 today. It is incredible. 15 is it's the new 12. It really is.
And who is Bonnie Nyland?
Bonnie Nyland is a TikTok star with more followers than the three of us combined.
Interesting.
Yes. Those, by the way, are your headlines.
Got any comments on those? Or if you want to hashtag write today's headline, please do so all across the social media spectrum. Do that right now. We'll get to your comments coming up on this, your Daily Mojo. You know what I always say, Brad?
What do you always say, Doc?
Love Maybach's used chicken.
I had forgotten that was kind of your motto.
It is.
Life.
It's one of my mottos in
Yeah.
life. It's
Yes.
something to live by.
And you know what they say? Kinky is when you use the feather. Perverted is when you use the whole chicken. That's another rule to live by in life.
That's not my rule, though. I don't agree with that.
All right. I'm just saying that's what other people suggest.
It's a mental illness, Brad. That's what you're talking about. It's a mental illness. Seriously, it is. It's crazy. We've talked about mental illness being a problem in America. But when you're talking about the people on the left, the stuff we hear about them, it's a mental illness. We said they're emotionally driven or whatever. And while that's true, I'm not willing to stop there. Many of these people are mentally ill. Mentally ill that they are going to go ahead and shoot up a concert from a Las Vegas hotel room. Maybe not to that level. But they are on the road. They are on the spectrum of mental illness. When we share these stories in the future of bizarre things from the left, pause for a moment, in case I forget to bring this up, and say, is that normal?
Right.
Are they just a little triggered? Or are they on the road to being mentally ill?
To the rubber room.
Right. They're gaslighting us with it.
Yeah.
Remember the movie Gaslight? Ingrid Bergman? Great film. Where her husband, spoiler alert. Is it safe?
If you haven't seen it by now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well, okay.
I want to give people enough time. It's been 70 years.
I think you're probably safe.
Safe with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, gaslighting. They made her think she was crazy, and she wasn't crazy. They're making us think we're crazy. But they're the ones who are crazy.
Yeah.
So they're crazy, but they're making us think we're crazy to bring up their mental illness. In other words, they are setting that this is the new norm. And it's a little like Arrested Development or Green Acres. You have one of the characters that is relatively normal, but everybody else is crazy.
Yeah.
So you would have sitcoms over the years where there's the normal people and, there's the crazy neighbor or the crazy friend. Oh, and it's just comic relief, and they're zany. Zany, I say. The difference with Green Acres, he was normal, everybody else crazy. Michael on Arrested Development, normal, everybody else is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was great fun. That's what they're doing to us in society. They're all Nikes crazy and in on it, talking their own little blabbity craziness, and yet you're going, am I crazy? I must be crazy because they're all in on it. No, you're not. They are gaslighting us, and they are the ones mentally ill. I would like to show you this, Brad, this picture, and you tell me what you think about her.
All right.
What do you? I'll tweet this out.
Oh, is that? Tell me that is not what I think it is.
Well, that's hair in her underarm.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that because of the.
But she's attractive, right? Could you describe the picture? Because you know what?
It is
Ron, I want you to see this too, Ron.
It is a blonde. I think she's blonde. Dirty blonde. She's a dirty blonde.
Right. But, she's attractive, though, right?
She's looks like she has attractive features that
minus that hairy pit.
And it looks like she is covered in blood.
She's covered in her own menstrual blood.
I knew you were going to say that. You dirty.
This is,
nasty.
folks, this is not me. This is her. This is a crazy-ass leftist person who is covered in her own menstrual blood. And that's just the beginning of the fun. All right, her name is Maxine Bjork. She is a blogger, progressive, originated from Sweden, currently lives in Bali. She took to Instagram last week. She explained why she is covered in her own menstrual blood. And I'm sorry, this will be a touch graphic.
Yeah, thanks.
Just a touch.
Thanks for that one.
But as I share this with you, ask yourself if I'm wrong that they're mentally ill. She said, today, after a very productive and super fun day, I just came home all emotional with lots on my mind that I just pushed aside because I didn't have space to deal with it in the moment. So that's nice, right? Super fun day, lots going on. I just pushed it aside. I sat down and did some deep breathing, and all of a sudden I felt a strong urge to cover myself in my life-giving fluids as a woman.
God. Oh. Wow. That's not right.
You're mentally ill.
Yes. That is
super fun day.
Yeah.
And so much going on, but I just pushed that out of my mind, did some deep breathing, and then said, what if I covered myself in menstrual blood?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, my 2-year-old or 1.5-year-old granddaughter, she'll cover herself in poop. You know what? That's because she doesn't know any better.
Right. Yes, exactly.
But damn.
Right, exactly. Yes. That's.
Oh, my God.
She didn't end there.
Crazy. This is full blown.
She said, so without really thinking of why or anything else, I just did it.
Wow.
Smudged it out all over my body. And, by the way, the picture has it up. It's on her face, the whole thing.
You know what? If she had just done it in private, it'd be great.
That would be crazy enough.
But no, she had to snap a damn picture.
Instagram, baby. Used to be, Ron, back in the day, when we covered ourselves in menstrual blood,
yes,
we kept it to ourselves.
We
didn't put that out there.
Exactly.
Right. We did that freaky stuff ourselves, but now it's got to be out there at social media.
Oh, now I got to raise my arm.
Right.
And take it.
She said, smudged it out all over my body, and then rolled around naked on the grass in my garden, all covered in my menstrual blood.
Well, I bet that was itchy.
I'm sorry?
She rolled around in the grass. That has to be itchy.
Itchy. Okay.
Yes.
She went on to say, smelled the earth and started crying intensely.
Wow. Do you know what? I've got to say, she would be super fun on one date. But you'd have to tell her you lived in another country in a cave.
That's not enough of an exit strategy.
And your name is Ishka Bibble.
We've said before, date the crazy ones for limited periods, maybe a couple of hours, Brad.
She would be maybe one date.
No, Brad.
There's no way.
This is going in.
She'd have to shower first.
This is going in to get something potentially valuable inside the nuclear reactor in Japan, in Fukushima. Wow, it's you're going in, but you cannot stay in for more than minutes, and you've got to have a solid exit strategy and backup.
Yeah.
You're going to have your – it's not enough to have your buddies call you and say, okay, we're going to come. They've got to have, like, harnesses. They can snatch you out of there in a second. Sorry for that. In a second and pull you out of that because
You know what?
You're dancing with the devil here,
that's
baby.
That's what you're
Literally.
for. I call you, say, bring the big human slingshot with you. I'm going to need extraction.
Doc could not get there fast enough.
Oh, exactly. We would have to be waiting right around the corner.
Feet away.
Right.
Right.
So
you need a firm attachment point somewhere on my body for the
like
giant elastic band.
the DMZ in North Korea and Korea, where when they would go to meet the South, when they would send people, because there's a little house right in the DMZ with a line drawn down the middle of it, and they each have a door from their side and a little table with the line drawn. And when people on the South would come in, they would have somebody hold on to their belt behind them,
so they wouldn't slip off into
because somebody would pull them to the other side.
Wow.
So Brad, we would need to be. You go to dinner, and we'd be behind you, holding onto your belt, going, "Get ready, Ron. Stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. Ready. Go.
Not at dinner. Don't pull me out of dinner.
If she's pulling out the menstrual blood, we're pulling you out of dinner.
Okay, all right.
Menstrual blood that's not enough of a red flag.
You're right. Yes.
Come on, man. Okay, now.
Wow.
She rolled around in the garden, smelled the earth, and started crying intensely. She said, both from happiness and from sadness.
Wow.
After some crying, I started laughing instead. I'm so happy to have my mom in my life. We both help each other to get through some roller coasters. My family situation we are in right now is just very draining, but that's life. And exactly how it is supposed to be in the moment, except in love, heart.
Heart. Well, then she ended the whole paragraph with a little heart?
With a little heart.
Oh,
now,
well, then that makes it okay. It's a little smiley face.
She's mentally ill.
Yeah.
And here's the, okay. Starts off, super fun day.
Super fun.
It was productive and super fun.
Yeah.
Came home, emotional, lots on her mind, and just pushed it off.
I think you need to read it with a question mark at the end of each sentence, by the way.
Pushed it off.
That's better, yeah.
So super fun, but emotional, and able to just push it off. Sat down, did some deep breathing, and suddenly felt the urge and did cover herself in her own menstrual blood. Rolled around naked in the grass and garden, began to cry. This is all within minutes. Then she was crying from both sadness and happiness. After some crying, she started laughing instead. She's by herself, folks. So imagine this. You come home. Super fun day. Lots going on. I'm just going to push it off. Menstrual blood. Splash, 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 splash. That's crazy.
Yes.
Why haven't they locked her ass up?
Yes, there's a picture of her in the dictionary next to the word crazy.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is like, damn, this bitch be crazy.
Really crazy. Wow.
This is what we're dealing with. This is who these people are. And this is not the only one. We've had the, what is it? Tweet your period? No.
What was that?
Show your period?
Something, yeah. And
there have been a couple of campaigns where they encourage people to, as a form of protest against periods, by the way, take that up with God. Don't protest me. I don't control your periods. Sorry. Tell them, don't wear feminine hygiene products. Instead, let it all fly, baby.
I can't.
You know what, Ron? I'm just going to start letting it fly and just poop my pants all over the place. Just let that brown stain as a form of protest. Sorry.
You know what, Doc? It's been really nice working with you. God, Doc.
This is what they're talking about.
I found a fabulous article on PMS symptoms.
Here's the irony here. The irony is they say they're protesting that women have to pay for feminine hygiene products. In some cases, they're taxed and all of this. Again, I didn't make the rules, right? God did. Go ahead and talk to him about it. And because of that, they say it is a health issue if women don't have them. You've got to be hygienic, right? That's the reason they protest. Because my reaction would be, well, then just don't use it. They say, it's a health issue. That's the reason you have to pay for them. Okay, great. But it's such a damn health issue that you decide not to use them being less healthy. You're so concerned about yours and other women's health that you've decided to be unhealthy.
Putting yourself at risk by doing this.
This is like saying, you know what? Everybody needs health care. And to protest, I'm giving myself rickets.
Yes. Or the bubonic plague.
What?
Or the bubonic plague.
We're all going to have a rickets in. A plague in.
My gosh, we did that in 7th grade. It was fabulous.
Rickets
fun.
in. I know. I have the
rickets in.
pictures. I have the pictures from you,
Yes.
whatever. You found an article on it?
No, I found an article on 7 PMS symptoms that might indicate your period is coming.
Does it include super fun days followed by
Something about armpit hair.
By the way, that's the other telltale sign. I don't care if you're European or not.
Man, and it really
You have
takes
pit hair.
And did she? I mean, man, I want to look and I can't look.
I'm going to tell you with the whole laughing and crying thing, if my wife does that, we are going to the hospital. And that's just laughing and crying. I'm not talking about
the other stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, laughing and crying is me, hey, I'm going to run down for some milk.
Yeah.
No, honey, I'm going out for cigarettes. You don't smoke.
I do now.
Do now.
Yeah. I'll see you in a couple decades.
Uh-huh. No. It may take me a long time to get those cigarettes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Very long time.
Can I have your credit cards?
That is.
They are mentally ill, and they're making us think we are mentally ill. They are gaslighting us about their mental illness. And these are the reasons we need, more than ever, Patriot Mobile accounts.
I was going to say, Missy Lou just joined. She said, who are they talking about, so we're not crazy.
Oh, her name is, and it's not all ladies, obviously. It's Maxine Bjork. Is that Bjork? B-J-O-R-K?
It is.
Ring that bell, baby.
Ring
it proud.
Now.
Ring it loud.
Ring it loud. Ring
But
it proud.
it's the J, but the O has the double dots on it. Is that the umlaut?
Bjork. Yes, I think she's Bjork.
Is the double O, the double dots over the O, is that an umlaut?
I believe it is. It is now.
Because is it an umlaut or is this an little?
No, she's an umlaut.
Okay.
There's a lot.
She's an umlaut of crazy, baby. Yes, she is a blogger, progressive blogger out there. And I'm going to go ahead and tweet this entire story. I'm not even take the pic because you got to see the entire thing. Yeah. I'll send that out in just a moment. We'll also post it on MeWe as well. But sign up for your Patriot Mobile account because we've got to stand together and fight this level of crazy. When you stand with other people, they remind you that, yeah, you're not the crazy one. They're gaslighting you. They're insane. Because as nutty as it is, when you see stuff like this, there's so much of it, you start questioning yourself.
Yes.
It's like, do you ever have somebody cheat on you and they make you question yourself?
Yeah. Yes, actually.
You're like, I saw you having sex with a man in the park.
Right.
And they're like, no, I wasn't. I saw you. No, you're going to believe me or your lying eyes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
wait.
Well, I want to believe you, whatever. See, here's pictures of you guys engaged in flagrante delicto.
Yes,
in flagrante delicto. Nope, we're not. And you start thinking you're crazy. Stand with other like-minded people because it's that reinforcement that you're not crazy. And do so with Patriot Mobile. Great people. Patriot Mobile started, actually their anniversary is right about now. I think it was 2012, so 6 years ago, possibly 8 years ago. It might have been 2008 or 10, where they said, okay, there's this company, Credo Mobile, that is supposedly capitalist. They take money from people, but they take all of those profits and they would funnel them to progressive candidates. And they saw them have a win on Election Day with some of those specific races that they helped in, and they influenced them. They said, we got to stop this. We got to at least balance the scales. Now, we have an opportunity to balance the scales with that money by signing up for a Patriot Mobile account. Or if you get enough people to sign up, we can actually tip the scales in our favor. And after last night, it'd be nice to have more money going into true libertarian and conservative candidates for 2 years from now, right?
Yeah. Or you go out and protest and find every other way that you could spend the your spare time, really fighting this the potential blue wave.
You could just sign up for a Patriot Mobile account.
Or you could just do that, and because you have a job and you probably have to get to work.
So 10, maybe 15 minutes out of your day calling 1-800-A-PATRIOT and telling them Doc sent you, 1-800-A-PATRIOT, switching over to an account, or going to patriotmobile.com/doc, and you're going to do all of that good. And the best part about it, this is almost like cheating. You're doing all of that good, but you're doing something good for yourself specifically.
Yeah.
It's like when you give something to charity, and they're like, oh, and by the way, because you gave to charity, here's something free.
Yes, kind of like.
And you're like, oh, okay, great.
Like we're doing with our Indiegogo campaign.
Or when you just want something free, and then you're like, oh, and I could claim I gave to charity with it. It's like that.
Yes.
Same thing. PatriotMobile.com/Doc. Sign up for an account today. It's PatriotMobile.com/Doc.
Matt Locke just walked in. He's got a big old grin on his face.
That's it. We'll see what he's been up to in just a couple of minutes.
By the way, Jay over on MeWe wants to know if you have pictures of someone having sex in a park. I don't have any. I can't remember what this might be in reference to, but do you have any pictures of sex? People having sex in a park?
You're gonna have to be more specific.
He wants to know if you have pictures of someone having sex in a park. That, sir, is a simple yes or no question.
He's going to have.
Do you or do you not have pictures of someone having sex in a park?
I'm gonna need to know what people and what park. And what his definition of sex is.
Your Honor, I would ask that you direct the witness to answer the question, yes or no.
I have pictures of people. I have pictures of parks. I have pictures of people in parks.
I have pictures of sex.
I have pictures of maybe sex. It depends on what your definition of is. I'll ask you, Brad. Hang on. Let me. Hang on. Is this what your definition of is?
OMG. How did you even – is that –
interesting angle, isn't it?
How did you –
You have to get to the park early to climb under the bench without being seen.
Wow. But I do – I'm not sure –
Hold it.
Yeah.
That's when you get to the park early and climb a tree.
Holy crap. How many cameras did you have?
I'm sorry. I can't disclose my methods. Get your comments in.
Wow. You think you know somebody.
Do you have some more from the MeWe?
Yes. Do I? Oh, no, but over on Twitter, on the tweeter. Wow, I remember sleep. It was Christopher who said, Omosh midgets used to ride llamas, and they made a historical postcard. And by the way, there, my friend, is a midget riding a llama.
Oh, my gosh, you're right.
So the circus really has come to town, just so you know. I am the toe cutter. Right, today's headline. Seriously, did you cook this up with Fox News Sun? Wow, I have no idea. And I thought I pre-read that one.
Let me see that.
You read that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
That's not, especially with the picture there. We'll just move over here. Whatchamacallit says, I have thought with all the crazy, maybe Grandpa was right. There's a point where death looks inviting. Good to know we're all being gaslighted. Right? What did I tell you the other day? I just have to last another, 35 years? And it's going to be quiet and peaceful.
My father said a few years before he died, he said, I figured out the problem with living to be 100 versus 80. He said people want to live another 20 years, and that's great. You live another 20 years. He said they tack that 20 years on at 80. They don't give you another 20 years to be 30 and 40.
No.
They give you a 20 years to be 80 and 90.
Yes. Youth is wasted on the young.
I realized another problem with living to be that extra 20 years from 80 to 100.
The smell?
Okay, I'm going to write that one down, too. There's a lot of I could do. Hang on.
The smell.
Okay, the smell.
When the pain when you pee.
Yeah, That's good. That's good. The gravity.
Gravity, yes. Gravity is no longer your fan.
Gravity sucks.
It really does. And not in the good
I remember as a kid thinking, wow, this gravity thing is great because we stick to the planet. We don't fly. Gravity's horrible.
I'd like to try flying off the planet.
Right. Okay, another thing that sucks living to be 100 versus 80, that extra 20 years. People.
Yes.
Right?
20 more years
of people.
Blah, 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 blah.
They are the worst.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to help us stave off people and gravity, please consider donating to our crowdfunding campaign at Indiegogo. Just go to mojo50.com. There's a red banner at the top and click and donate whatever you can. Here, our plan is to grow this social media platform to be informative and entertaining. Do you realize there's nobody out there? I'm not joking. Think of the other media companies that you consume content from. Okay, so you got the maybe traditional media if you still watch the TV.
Right.
And what are you watching? You watching ABC, CBS, and all those for news? No, they're crap. You may watch them for their dramas or sitcoms, some entertainment.
Maybe.
Okay, that's a whole different world.
Like Roseanne.
Okay, and that gets all political then too. All right, so you got the Netflix in those.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's some non-political, just fun escapism, adventure, drama, whatever. Okay, great. Many of those are political. And look at what Netflix is doing with the number of progressive documentaries and all that stuff, right? HBO and others. All right. So then you go, okay, other social media outlets that maybe you look at because they're more news and information and they're from the right, libertarian, conservative. Without going down the list, think of them yourself. Anybody you go to on a regular basis. What are they giving you? Think about their content. It's all talking points.
Yeah, it really is.
Think about all those personalities you know. Almost all of them, except a very few, are talking points. They're saying the same crap. They're giving you nothing different.
And saying
There
it
are
over and
so
over.
there are so very few people that are actually doing anything different. Now you may like some of that stuff. Maybe one of them's a little easier to look at.
Right, yes.
Right?
Are you suggesting that they would put anchors on television that just looked good so that people would tune in to see perhaps their legs?
I'm just saying. And you may be slickered into that or better lighting or whatever. They're saying and doing the same crap. Is it really that entertaining? It's not. It's crap. There is so much out there. We said, hey, we can be different crap. We're not going to be the same talking points crap. We will be all new and different crap.
Right.
And that's what we're going for here. We are not politically correct. We're going to do things our own way. And if we grow, it will continue to grow and be good for you as well. We've told you some of our long-term plans. We need your help to grow a little faster. One of the long-term plans we haven't shared with you is our plan to take care of this gravity thing, to fight gravity, maybe defy gravity.
And that's going to be a long-term project. A very long-term project.
So please give if you can, if you're able, even a couple of bucks at mojo50.com. Some people said, hey, what if I always want to send a check because I don't like that online stuff? Yeah, you can. We'll do that as well. And they can just send that to the address at the bottom of the website, isn't it?
Yeah, go to the contact us page. It's at the bottom of the contact us
Okay.
page.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you feel the absolute need to drop off the check in person.
You can do that as well.
Yes.
But please do not look directly at Brad Staggs.
No. As a matter of fact,
Avert your eyes.
If you see me, make sure that you actually get down a hallway and face a wall.
Right, exactly.
Because I don't respond well.
All right,
that sort of
so what do we got here?
Oh.
Let's get some communiques.
Yes, let's be frank in Pennsylvania. Very good point. Those fluids don't actually give life. It's the unconsummated potential for life. It's life that didn't happen. Covering yourself in menstrual blood and rolling in grass is like breeding a live chicken.
Okay, no, he's right. I thought the same thing. I was going to call her out on that, and I didn't want to split hairs.
Actually, I think he meant breading a live chicken. That's true.
He's
It
right
is
about
true.
that.
Yes, it is not. Which again contributes to the fact that she is cuckoo nuts. She's a whack job.
Yep.
Cigar Hero, remember the 6th of November when $70 million was wasted with Democrat theft in the Hollywood left and Beto in Texas was pasted.
Oh, my gosh, that's awesome. Give me that again.
Very good.
Who is that?
Remember, Cigar Hero. Remember the 6th of November when $70 million was wasted with Democrat theft and the Hollywood left and Beto in Texas was pasted.
Cigar Hero is going to have to, anybody that is that poetic's going to have to be a regular feature.
Yes. That will go to the top of the line.
That's good stuff.
Because
Because that's different crap. Oh. That's not the same old crap.
No, it is not the same old crap.
Okay.
And 1,000 Golden Taint Sleeve. Love the story. Wish I could repeat it.
Wait, she wrote Love the Story, or you're saying you wish you could repeat hers?
I said,
okay.
Love the story. Wish I could repeat it. Blah, blah, blah.
Love the blah, blah, blah.
Says, for Right Today's headline, in blue states, crazy is as crazy does.
And there it is.
It's just really, this has been, we live in one of the most interesting times. I guess, you know what, everybody who's ever been alive has probably said that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because everything
constantly
is
changes.
New.
Right.
Everything, with the exception of life itself,
well,
everything we're experiencing is new.
Well, there's nothing new under the sun. It's always just new takes on it, and maybe you've forgotten the past about some of these things. So it's like
Which is why we can't erase the past.
Well, there's that as well, because you'll be doomed to repeat it.
Yes.
All right, we'll give you an update in a couple of minutes on the takeaways from yesterday, because it's not just about all of the House and Senate and gubernatorial races. Instead, it is also about all of the ballot measures, and there are some significant ones on the ballot as well. These are – think about that. Think about the ballot measures got virtually no coverage.
Yeah, I looked for them last night and could not find it.
It's difficult to
find
find
the
them.
migrant caravan.
You may have in your local community or state gotten a hot button one that was talked about a little bit, but nowhere near as much as you probably heard about beta, even if you weren't in Texas. I mean, you could be in, the Alabama or somewhere, and you're hearing more about beta than you are about the abortion issue that was on the ballot. Or you could be in one of the 21 states. One of the states, I know there's full 21, but several states that had a marijuana question on, but you were hearing more. Was it 12?
I think 12 states had an initiative.
Something about marijuana.
Yes, either recreational or for medical use. And I want to say Utah passed it.
Yeah, for medical. But we'll get to some of those as well and get an update from Matlock, because I know he's been up all night crunching the numbers in his sleep. We get to that coming up on Mojo 50.
Crunching Ron, haven't you? That's what you're going to do.
landed.
And apparently it landed on Matt Locke. Matt Locke is looking a little crispy today, a little burnt, little out there, How you feeling?
I'll make it.
And you're sounding a little crispy, a little burnt, a little bit.
I've been fighting this. I've been fighting this head cold, and it's finally there.
It's the head cold.
It is there.
It wasn't the massive liquor or screaming last night. It was nothing like that.
No, I've never lost my voice in my life, but we're working hard on it today.
Yeah, Ron's been trying to get you to lose your voice for a while, but
all night long.
It hasn't done so well. All right, so let's get a quick postmortem opinion from you on last night's what ended up shaking out.
Well, I think historically we saw what was going to happen. I was reading some stuff this morning, and historically, and I don't get it, but historically, the party in power
loses.
It's the weirdest thing in our politics that you'll ever see. The economy is unbelievable. Jobs are plentiful. Unemployment is way down. But yet we have a country that, for whatever reason, whatever gripe, whatever personal animus, they're going to show Donald Trump.
Well, and you're right. Normally the House of Representatives, the party in power, when they have the House of Representatives and a president gets elected, that first midterms, what happens is they will usually, the party in power, lose 40, 50 seats. Obama lost 67 in the midterms of 2010. 67 seats.
That's what you would call a wave.
That is truly a wave.
Right.
Now, and often they will lose the other house. They'll lose the Senate as well.
Yep.
The Republicans added a couple seats to the Senate, minimum.
Yeah.
And there was a good Democrat showing. They took control with, a handful of seats, but maybe as many as 15. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It could be as many. I think I saw this morning 12.
Okay.
There's still some races too.
You've got to compare that with the others. So if that is the case, there was really, and I'm not trying to make the Republican look good here or anything like that. I'm just saying let's compare it then, if you're going to use history as the guide, to show that there really was not a blue wave.
No, but there's enough to make you worry. They were Fox News was in Texas this morning, and we've got some issues here for whatever reason with voters. In being, being.
Let me get that for you.
Yeah, I know. It's just stuck in there. Anytime there's a party in power, it just seems like they make somebody mad.
The Republicans have not had good messaging, and it's their own damn fault. First of all, half of them don't understand what they're really talking about, don't have solid values.
Or who
whatever.
they're reaching.
Who they're reaching, or what they don't have a solid foundation themselves. They're just running for office. And I kind of agree with those people more. They're not truly conservatives. They don't walk the walk, whatever. We get that. It's politics. But assuming they all were, they have a huge problem explaining their message, folks. It's difficult to govern and have the ability, the experience, the knowledge, the strength to do what's right, and also be able to explain that to people to get elected, and that's part of the game.
Well, it's messy.
It's messy and it's ugly.
Yep.
I have offered for probably, 12, 15 years now, Republicans. I will explain to you how to win.
Right.
It's quite simple.
It is.
I will explain the messaging, and I will explain how to govern that will be good for all of you. And it's very, very simple, and I'll share some of it right here. First of all, you must get the right people. We know that.
Yep.
There's some good ones in. But in your messaging, you have to explain away any of those challenges from people on the left. And there is, if you are a true libertarian conservative in this stuff, an easy explanation to some of it. It's personal freedoms. It's the Constitution. And you can no longer get trapped in these, I'm a constitutionalist, I'm for freedom, whatever. These are all buzz phrases that either go over people's head, it's wallpaper, or they're triggers on the left.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. As opposed to personal freedoms. Something like this. When you explain what that is, and capitalism.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody to sit down with a member of your family. You got the holidays coming up. Sit down with some young progressive out there and your family, and stop. Hold it. I don't want any talking points. Let's just talk a moment.
Right.
And ask them some questions and explain to them, without triggering some of the problems with that. You've heard it. You've had these conversations with people, and more often than not, they're going to come away with a different perspective. So why is it we can do that and they cannot?
Well, I think some of it's political correctness. I think some
There
of
it
it is intelligence.
Or they don't want to.
No, they don't want to. That's
right,
right.
they don't want to because, again, they want us fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then also, Matt, you're right. The political correctness is they believe that the political correctness is serving them better than what I'm talking about.
Yep.
They don't want to do – they're playing the short game. I better not say that because I'm so worried.
Yep.
You are successful. The true people, the iconic people, the disruptors, as some people would say, are people that throw it out there.
Well, look at Trump.
Yeah.
He threw it out there. He throws it out there all the time.
And I'm going to tell you, this is kind of, as I thought about this last night, and I'm going through my show prep this morning, is this not a gift in disguise for Trump 2020? I mean, he gives the Democrat Party the House. He doesn't give them, but the Democrats get the House.
Right.
You know, all of a sudden, is the civility going to be half as much now because they didn't get the Senate, you know?
Right.
Because civility was going to come back, according to Hillary, if they got
right.
the House and the Senate. So now is half the civility coming back.
They're only gonna break one of your knees.
But
now.
imagine what could happen when the Democratic Party in power in the House for 2 years, nothing gets done. Does it set up for a wave election in 2020 for Trump? Hey, I need the House back. You've seen what happens, you crazy kids. You took the IROC out for a spin. You hit the tree with the IROC. Yes, you like that, the Camaro, and it did not work. Now come back to me.
It's the second best thing that could have happened in this election. The first, obviously, being that he would get the House and the Senate and he can get anything done. The second best being there's gridlock.
Gridlock is good.
Gridlock is good in government.
And that's what's going to happen for the next 2 years.
Well, and you're right. He has somebody to rail against now.
Yes, he has a demon.
Right, and everybody needs that semen to rail against, right?
Yes,
they do.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
That's exactly what I said.
I'm sorry?
Demon.
Demon,
yeah.
yes.
Well,
You need,
yours work better.
Different.
right, I mean, the Harlem Globetrotters have the Washington Generals, and the Democrats are the Republicans' Washington Generals, and vice versa. They are each other's.
Coyote has the Roadrunner.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Bugs
I
Bunny
have
has
Brad.
Yosemite Sam.
I have Brad Staggs. I mean, this is the point.
Right.
So when
I have Ron. What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, you guys. He's been
Freckle.
talking about you sleeping. You're talking in your sleep. So if you guys are in
Did
a
I talk
spat,
Did I talk in my sleep? It'd been quiet if I
We'll
talked
get
last
to that
night.
in a minute.
Oh, okay.
He has the recordings.
Yeah.
We're going to play those in a few
I
minutes.
like that. I like that.
So so they have it, and they all play this game very well.
Yes.
When you have the House, the Senate, and the White House, unlike a lot of those, in fact, I would say unlike probably every other media outlet and anybody else on the right, I actually called the Republicans out for not getting crap done.
Yes.
Okay, they wanted for 8 years under Obama. Give us the House and Senate and presidency. Give us the House and Senate. Okay, we got the House. Give us the Senate too. Get the Senate. Okay, we just need the president. You got it. Now what are you going to do?
Nothing.
You do crap with it.
Yep.
Why? They don't actually want it.
No.
What if, because again we've talked about the rules have changed because of Trump, he has changed the paradigm. What if we are again playing by the old rules? And what if this doesn't mean gridlock? What if this means that he finds a way to make deals with the Democrats?
Well,
And
but
he
that's
actually
going to be bad for
continues-
Trump.
But think about it. He is a deal maker.
Yes.
It depends on what the deals are.
Well, of course.
Right,
But what
right.
if he finds a way to get the things that he wants passed without all the collateral damage that would be,
it depends on what it is. Is his deal making? You know what? This puts his deal making skills truly to the test.
It does.
Is he the often good deal makers, and this is definitely true in politics, they're great deal makers in the short run.
Yeah.
But then you realize 10, 20 years down the road, they just kicked the can down. Municipalities all across America for 20, 30 years, mayors and councils, when it came to dealing with the unions, said, look, we didn't have to raise your taxes. We reached a deal. Well, the deal was balloon payments down the road in one form or another.
Yeah.
And then this is part of that huge economic meltdown in 2008. Many of those balloon payments came to due.
Right.
Yep.
And what happened? We started melting down.
Yep.
And what did they do to solve it? Kick the can down the road.
Yep.
So if Trump can truly make deals and say, listen, Democrats, there's enough that unites us, like balanced budget. Let's balance the budget. The devil's in the details. You work out the details. But number one, let's get a balanced budget amendment, things like this.
Yep.
That's something that benefits all of us. It's not left or right. Then, yes, he'll do it. But if the deal is where he gives up something that is something I'm not willing to give up,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Or pushes it down the road. That's not going to be good for us.
Well,
him.
And it leads me to think, because we were talking about this last night, and I'm looking at it this morning. I'll cover it in the show. When you get to these small of margins, things will move one way or another. They have to, because it will make the House work together, or they'll just do nothing. It'd be one thing or nothing. So in the end, with such slim margins, will Nancy Pelosi? Well, the fun part's going to be watching who's the speaker, because I don't think it's Nancy.
It's going to be gold, Jerry.
But you watch.
You know who I'm hoping
they're
for?
They're going to backstab.
Remember the girl fights in school?
Oh,
when they
yeah.
start ripping the clothes off? Oh, no, not
You-
so.
not Nancy.
That's coming.
Not Nancy.
So here's let's go ahead and throw it out there. Let's put some names on the table. Who is likely to be? Give me your top couple. They don't have to necessarily be in order. I'll give you 2, maybe 3 that you say will become Speaker of the House. I think there's a good chance Nancy's
number one.
Will claw
Yeah.
her way back to the top.
Yeah.
She has enough dirt on everybody, and trust me, she does, that she likely will get this happen. If there's enough of a groundswell, and her target is not coming from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, but she could be a dark horse.
No. I mean, or her posse.
Right.
Or her peeps. They will push it because she's already said that.
Right.
Her challenge is truly going to come from the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yes.
And you know who they want and who is the front runner, who would also
Which is crazy.
be much more palatable to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
And that is Auntie Maxie.
That's crazy. Auntie Maxie is what, 95,000 years old?
She's in her 80s, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Pelosi's what, in her mid-70s?
112.
Yeah.
Nancy's like, that old lady?
Uh-huh.
Who was the guy from Ohio that ran against Pelosi that got about a third of the vote the last go-around?
Oh, the guy from Youngstown area,
Yes.
Ryan.
Ryan, yes.
Not Paul, the other Ryan.
No, yeah.
Tim Ryan.
Tim Ryan, thank you.
So, no, it's not going to be that, guys. It's not going to be the Utes. It's not going to be whatever.
No.
The old guard has control still. Just there's various factions, and you don't get much more old guardy than Auntie Maxie. Auntie Maxie, in addition, is with that identity politics they love to play, bumps it up there a bit, right? Yeah. So imagine the first female black Speaker of the House of Representatives.
You hit all the boxes. You hit all the boxes, and she's crazy.
Right, and imagine if Nancy does some sort of deal of, I'll look like a hero by stepping aside and still be majority leader or something. You're still in the game.
Right.
And you do the deal. That's how they do this. My vote is Nancy Pelosi, probably there.
Yeah.
A close second, I'm giving you Auntie Maxie. And folks, if that happens, some bitch, this is going to be gold. This is double, triple platinum with a bullet, baby.
This has got memes and parodies written all over it.
Impeach 45 is
yes.
genius. It's awesome.
It might make us lazy because it's going to be too much low-hanging fruit.
I don't think anybody else even has
a chance.
I think that's
you
it.
might have a dark horse here and there. I mean,
I just said yes. Maxine Waters.
I'm not talking about her horse face.
Oh,
yes.
that changes everything.
But you've got some. If you look at this new guard that you're talking about, the left is divided into the old guard in the socialist wing of the party. There's going to be someone in that new guard socialist wing of the party that will take a stab at it. I don't know who it will be, but somebody will.
Can you please refer to that as the more socialist wing of the party?
More socialist.
I think more is
socialist plus. The extra socialist part of the party.
The extra plus. That's the double socialist.
By the way, Debbie over on Facebook, thank you. She said you guys are amazing to keep on keeping on after all of your hard beer work last night.
Yes.
Thank you for noticing that or whatever.
We worked hard on that.
We did it for you.
Yes, we did.
We really did.
Our livers this morning, thank you.
Yeah, just don't say gubernatorial this morning.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hitting the coffee.
Me too.
I noticed the folks at Patriot Mobile just keep averting their eyes when I walk by. They're like, oh, my gosh, I can't look him directly in the face after that performance last night.
You're talking about FreedomWorks?
FreedomWorks. What did I say?
You said Patriot Mobile.
Patriot
That's all right. You're always selling.
You know, I got Patriot Mobile coming up in a minute or whatever. FreedomWorks, yeah.
Yes.
FreedomWorks is like they've already called security to help us get out.
That's it. They're all packing it up.
You know, I'm actually the guy.
They're great.
The folks over here are fantastic. I was talking to Pete coming up in the elevator this this morning. He says, you guys are rock stars. He's like, to be here at 6 a.m. after what happened last night. I said, you didn't see my butt here at 6 a.m.
Pete was great, though. They really helped us out. So please go to freedomworks.org if you would. Find out more about them. They are definitely going to need your help in the future. Spreading the word, getting involved, and donations, going to be huge. Sign up. Get on their email list. And follow them on social media as well. They're going to do more and more stuff in the future where they can just send out the notification, hey, did you know this is an issue? Make sure to call your lawmakers, do this. Kind of that central ground zero for organizing on the right.
Yeah.
And the true wave of the future that unfortunately Republicans have not been willing to embrace.
Yeah.
It's not about the conservatism you live in your life. It's about the way government ought to operate.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Constitution is libertarian small l. It is personal freedoms. That's it. And that's what FreedomWorks is about. By the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but freedom works. It does.
All the time.
I've heard that rumor.
It does.
I've heard that
FreedomWorks.org. You know what also works? Buying guns online, but really from only one source.
Yeah.
One source, Tar River Arms. They are
virtual
crushing this.
online gun store.
Yes, it is they have amped this thing up to make it so simple and wonderful. I remember years ago when the internet first started flourishing, and I was like, well, it's great if you're going to buy, Twinkies or something like that, but shoes, you can't buy shoes online. You got to try them on.
Right.
Or pants, you can. I don't know why we thought that'd be an issue, but it wasn't an issue.
No.
You just buy the stuff. Often it works. If it doesn't, you set it back. But when it comes to firearms, you've got a different issue here. You've got to know what it looks like, how it's going to operate. You get the specs. So they give you the high-resolution photos and the 3D imaging, and that's fine. But shipping it back, if you don't like it, is not like sending shoes back.
No.
Because you have to go through that FFL. It's not like you can just go ahead down to the post office and say, here you go, drop this thing off, right? You can't do it. And then it's expensive if you start shipping guns. And the transfer fees from the FFLs, because they got to get their cut. I get it, right?
Yep.
It's not cheap to run a business. So they've revolutionized it when it comes to Tar River Arms. You go to tarriverarms.com. That's tarriverarms.com. They're located in North Carolina, hence the
I love the name.
tarriverarms.com. Find the gun you want, which is going to be much cheaper.
Oh, much.
The couple that we've spotlighted are averaging $75 to $150 cheaper.
Well, the gun that I want, I carry an M&P Shield 40 caliber. They have a 45 caliber I've been looking at in that M&P Shield.
Yeah.
Retail on that gun is $579 in any gun store. Tar River's got that for $450.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And which one is that?
It's the 45 caliber M&P Shield because I carry
I have
the
a
40.
46.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. I was waiting for 49 or something.
No. Although, Brad, you have the 49, right?
I have the yes. I have
And
the
40
40 and the 50. I have the 51 as well.
I have a 52 in my luggage.
Yeah.
I just got it last
Did you want to see my 53?
Sure, but let me show you my 55. It's really nice. We'll just compare right there. TarRiverArms.com. You will love them. There's no shipping charge, and there's no transfer charge. So the price you see, which is cheaper, doesn't have any additional shipping or whatever. That's pretty much the price you're going to pay. TarRiverArms.com. Check them out today. You'll love them.
I shipped my drawers.
Veteran-owned, by the way.
Veteran-owned and operated.
Yes.
Well, and you have to say operated as as well.
Operated on what?
No, the business. They run the business or whatever.
Okay.
Because it's nice your veteran owns a business, but it's even better the veteran's operating the business because you got people that are working and
You're
it's
paying
not
them,
just
right, yeah.
exactly.
They're all sitting around a table playing Operation.
Exactly.
Pulling out the little funny bone. You see what I'm talking about.
I want to get into thanks, Matlock. Appreciate it. You got
No
more
problem.
coming up about 40 minutes from right now. I know you got some other things you have to do. You're welcome to stay, but I know you got
I got work to do. Yeah, so I'll get the hell out of here.
Stay, but get out. A couple of good Right Today's headline.
I'll be the judge of that.
John Kloppenberg.
Hashtag Right
third.
Today's headline.
House Democrats contemplate sticking butter knife in electric socket again with Nancy Pelosi. Tara says Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won her district, proving that New York is either semi-retarded at best and socialist retarded at worst.
Folks, lying works.
Yeah, it does.
That's on. And
I said that.
Lying
too quickly,
is a very effective campaigning tool, and it's also an effective dating tool, which I think a lot of us have known.
It works in court.
Lying works all. I'm gonna let Brad just.
I'm not saying.
Lies
let's just move
work. And remember, it's not a lie if you believe it to be true.
Right.
Do you realize that's what makes him? That's what George Costanza taught us. And when Jerry was trying to get him to, George, I got to pass a lie detector. Can you help me? And he goes, that's like trying to, teach Picasso, asking Picasso to teach you to paint or something like. He goes, but I can give you some advice. It's not a lie if you believe it's true.
That's right.
Which is honestly the truth about passing lie detectors. Sociopaths in that. What do you call it? The clinical liars. What do you call that? Pathological. They believe it's true. Remember, if you're on the left and you're emotional with snowflakes and puppy dogs, right, and this is you believe all of that crap to be true, right?
Yes, and you're right. If you do believe it, there was an old episode of Barney Miller where the guy started talking. He would take the lie detector test and said, "I was born on a planet outside this solar system," and why, my God, he's telling the truth.
Right.
You believe it.
He believes it.
It's true.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, during her acceptance speech, said about something, some little thing, and I don't think we touched on it earlier, about her being from a working class something or whatever.
Yeah, that was all kahooey.
She hasn't been to working class families and neighborhoods then. She isn't. That's not working class. Sorry. I know that's a loose, broad term, but the way
Did you
she's
just say loose, broad? Hey,
that's right.
Thank you.
The way she's intending it, that she's out there down for the struggle. She's 29. She doesn't know about struggle. She doesn't know about this.
How dare you suggest a woman
She doesn't know about struggle.
Origin does not understand struggle.
No, she's not. She grew up in a wealthier hood, had plenty. Her family is well off. Listen.
It's struggle, too. It's not
struggle.
It's struggle.
Go to parts of Alabama and Mississippi. Visit some of those rural areas. Visit West Virginia. That's struggle. Visit the people in southeastern West Virginia that were impacted by those floods down there a couple of years ago. That's struggle. Those are people who were literally dirt poor. Dirt floors poor.
Yes.
And then it became mud floors because they got flooded out. That's poor. She doesn't know what she's talking about. No. But she believes it to be true.
Well, it's relative to her. Yes.
Right. And that's the other part. It's all relative. And Hispanic, you know how many relatives she has that all voted for her? So, I mean,
I tell you what.
Okay, a couple ballot measures, some things that you should be aware of, and there's so many. Abortion was on the ballot, or some form of question of abortion, in a couple different states. Alabama and West Virginia both okayed changes to their state constitutions to further restrictions on abortion. Which shouldn't shock you if you're in either of those states, because those states are both pretty red and going to do that. Alabama, it was Amendment number 2. They declared that the state's policy to recognize and support the sanctity of unborn life, the rights of unborn children, including the right to life in all manners and measures appropriate and lawful, and that the Constitution does not protect the right to abortion or require the funding of abortion.
Good.
I've said this before. If you're somebody who is pro-abortion, I don't agree with you. We have a fundamental difference on when life begins, and we may never change that. But it's reprehensible if you're somebody that believes in rights and have fought against Christian overreach over the years to say you do not respect somebody's faith, that we shouldn't have to pay for an abortion. Right. You're not consistent there. I don't agree with you, but I can at least be consistent in my disagreeing with you.
Exactly.
West Virginia was Amendment 1. It amended because it passed, the West Virginia Constitution to clarify it does not secure or protect the abortion rights or require funding for them, both of them targeting the funding. And it said Medicaid funds would no longer be allowed to be used in abortions.
So some positive things came out.
Those are both really good things. If you're really being consistent, you should be celebrating those things. You should be supporting for amendments like that and advocating that nobody should pay for your abortion.
Right.
If it really were not about free stuff and other agendas, if you were being honest in your it's about this and that or whatever, then you would be heralding those and also saying, yes, you should not have to vote for such things. Some other ballot measures we got to go run down after a quick break, and we'll also get some of your communiques. Please post on social media and follow us all across the social media platforms.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Admittedly, I was hoping for some more fireworks. I mean, I'll go ahead and admit that from last night.
That's why you watch. That's why you watch car races. It's not to see who won. It's to see who crashed.
Right. It's auto racing, and it's the NHL.
Yeah.
I want to see the fights. I want to see something.
I mean, because otherwise, hockey is slower than hell.
Right. I mean, the thing is, listen, folks, you know a certain amount of what you're going to get. So a little bit of fireworks, a little bit of interest.
It's the only reason a game that ends in a score of 2-1 is interesting, if you ask me. Pink Floyd, by the way, right today's headline. Keith Ellison beats someone again. See what he did there?
Oh!
Yeah.
He beat somebody again.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
You know what? That's good. I don't want to mind. That was really good. I just wasn't paying attention there for a moment.
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No.
Let's see here. The Morning Blade. Damn it. Right today's headline. Dennis Hoff won.
Really?
So this is the
Dan Crenshaw won, by the way.
Yes, he did.
He's the one that Pete Davidson mocked on Saturday Night Live.
He lost his eye in the war or whatever, and we should get him on the show.
So he just mentioned, I didn't realize that there was, in California, the first Korean-American woman elected to Congress. I don't even know if my wife knew.
They let one of those in Congress?
Yeah, they're fine in that capacity.
Oh, okay.
You just don't want her to drive to Congress.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, don't do that.
Gotcha, right. Okay.
But
don't have a driver.
Oh, right. I mean, listen, you get her on the right committees. Oh, she'll be fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, here's the committees you want her on. Okay. Anything to do with fiscal policy and math.
Right.
Hang on, let me back up. Not Ways and Means, who allocates the money.
Right.
No. The counting of the money.
Yes,
counting of the money, very solid.
Yep.
Spending of the money, that could go either way. And, by the way, you also want her on any committee that is critical of me. Doc Thompson.
Yes.
In spades.
Yeah.
She will excel. I don't know what those are, but, I don't remember every government agency. But get her on any committee that is critical of Doc Thompson, and she will do very well. In fact, I mean, she could be chairman instantly.
Well, congratulations, California.
I don't know if you need anyone else to serve on the critical of Doc Thompson
She could
committee.
do it all by herself.
Oh, one woman.
Easily.
Absolutely. And still have plenty of time for everything else. Nothing to do with driving policy, as I said. You don't want anything to do with that.
No.
Right.
No.
So that's just personal experience.
And Robert Beckel over on Facebook says, any bets as to how fast Robert Francis O'Rourke drops the Beto moniker? Still waiting for Stacey Abrams to start crying racism. I don't think he's going to drop it.
Oh, he's not dropping it, folks. No.
He's having it tattooed on his forehead.
This is gold for him, Jerry. In fact, this will be a cornerstone for his campaign for president. It has to be. He's known as Beto. If Robert O'Rourke tomorrow launches his campaign, who? I mean, they may get the O'Rourke, whatever. Beta, everybody knows.
Yes. Yeah, and it fits on a campaign button. It fits on a sign. It's 4 letters. It looks good. That's fabulous.
Yep, that's gold for him. So, yeah, he's definitely going to you keep the branding that was successful for you. That's what we know. All right, let's get to some ballot initiatives as well, some other ones. This is a really solid one. Here's another opportunity for the Republicans to grow in the coming couple of years.
Right.
Republicans, you want to grow, you've got to get behind criminal justice reform. This is a good thing both in policy and if you only care about winning. Criminal justice reform is very broad. It can mean a lot of different things, but you got to get behind it and understand what's going on. Number one, voting rights for felons. Why should felons not be able to vote?
I don't understand that one.
Well, it was used as a control tactic in the past.
Right.
It was they thought that if they let them vote, they would vote for the other party.
Right.
That's really what it came down to. It was a way to suppress votes. If your argument is, well, they don't deserve a right because they violated, hold it right there. Do you support probation or parole for life for anybody who's ever been convicted of a felony? Because that's what you're talking about here. Don't we have a concept of paying your debt to society and then you go about your business?
Well, it also used to be guilty until proven innocent.
That is true.
That's been changed somewhat, too.
We used to say, listen, you paid your debt to society, move on. And it's difficult enough for felons who are truly trying to do the right things to be stigmatized with the knowledge of people that have of that they were incarcerated. That's difficult enough. Now, I'm not apologizing what they did. They shouldn't have done it, and there are consequences to actions. I'm not letting them off that hook. But they pay their debt to society.
Yep.
Now, if we say, all right, I'm going to let you out, Brad. You committed that felony, served a couple of years in jail, but just to make sure you're reformed, we're going to put you on probation for a couple of years. We'll parole you, but you've got to check in for 2 years. And then after 2 years, you keep your nose clean. Then you're full citizen. You don't have to check in. I'm fine with some of those.
Right.
But even those have a sunset. The sunset is 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
To say for the rest of your life you will never be able to vote?
Doesn't quite seem like America, does it?
No, it
really
doesn't. And number two, do you think felons are that hurt by the inability to vote? You'd be better off saying you can't drink for the rest of your life.
Right.
Or something like this. Not voting does not help them all that much. So when the Republicans say, hey, this is about freedom and your right to vote, you paid your debt to society, let's move on. That's a good thing.
And let's be fair. Felons, I mean, I don't know what most people think of when they think of felons, but they're not the baby raping, child killing, mauling.
Not most of them.
No, it's a drug offense. It's a whether it's armed robbery, whatever it is. I know I have a friend who is, and the offense
you forgot to make the air quotes when you said a friend.
I have a friend who is, and the offense it was a drug related offense, and why in the world? I promise not to tell him it's you, Doc.
No,
why in the world he is not allowed? Could be she not allowed to vote is beyond me.
Well, and that's the next part of criminal justice reform is sentencing. Why are we locking people up for drug offenses?
Right.
Stop it.
Yes.
These are victimless crimes. If there is a victim attached to it, fine, that's a different scenario. But you're locking people up for use and possession. Some of them are addicted. I'm not letting them off of bad behavior at all. I'm saying, what is our reaction to bad behavior? Do you want to spend all of that money locking people up? What is your motivation? To get them to not do it and to not endanger you or your family or to bring down society. If that's your macro view of this, fine. How has our war on drugs worked? Not at all.
Not even
so
a little.
Damn it, let's do something different. Now, the reason I was what's that?
I got an idea.
What is it?
You take these people who are on drugs, instead of putting them in prison, send them to like a military basic training for 30 days.
You know what, Ron?
The next time they get in trouble, send them for 60 days.
Yep.
And just keep amping it up 30 days at a time.
So
before long, they'll get pissed off and decide, God damn,
I'm running.
I just cannot do
So
this.
you're advocating a gym membership for them?
No.
Basically, yeah.
Have you been to Planet Fitness? It's like
I used
prison.
to be a drill instructor. I know it's not a gym.
Right. Yep.
Gets you in shape, though, doesn't it?
It will.
There you go. It's a gym membership.
And it's a rehab. Don't get me wrong.
Have you seen the younger people when they have those overwhelming? Like, so if you take young people, and I don't know what the cutoff is, but teenagers, even into young adulthood, and you throw them in jail, and the jail rehabilitation programs, the rate of recidivism is very high. I mean, it's almost 100%.
It is for drugs.
It is for drugs,
Yeah.
and a lot of things. I mean, maybe not murder, but that you will end up back in jail. Maybe not for that exact crime, but your life of crime and whatever continues. But the ones where they've done where they take them out in the woods and have them build the cabins and teach them a skill, and it's boot camp-esque. And there's a dozen of these. One of them, they teach them to sail. They take them out on the coast, whatever, and it's like boot camp like barracks, and they work every day, and if they clean the boat and they do all this stuff, then they teach them to sail, and they go out for the day. There's dozens of those where they're teaching them a trade or skills.
And recidivism is rare there because they give their brain something to occupy them. Yep.
It's really simple. I mean, and you know this, Ron, from being a drill sergeant. The reason, and I learned this from my father, basic training exists isn't just training to teach you to march.
No.
You don't march the rest of your career, not at all. It's all teaching you, like marching, camaraderie and to work as a unit, right? But what they do is they tear you down as the individual, and they build you back up as a new man.
As a team.
And as a team,
That's
right?
correct.
And with that, they're giving you something to feel good about. This is 101. So instead of just throwing people back in jail and saying you're a loser, because that's what they get, there has to be something else attached to it. You have skills, you have worth.
Well, 90% of them come in attached to their mom's boobs still anyways.
Right.
And so you've got to pull them off. You've got to you've got to pull them off, and you got to go, look, this is you now.
Exactly.
You're 18, you're an adult. Let's see how you do working as one.
Exactly. And then saying, here's some worth. Here's some things that you can be proud of. You got to have a little bit of pride, right?
Yep, absolutely.
No, I was laughing, Brad, when you said that because I think I know the friend you're talking about who's it's the one friend, the one person I've ever heard that when you get the call from prison, they don't sound like it's the end of the world. I've talked about this before, and it cracks me up. If you've ever gotten one from somebody you've got a call from the Thompson County Jail. And they go, boop, Carlos. Always, never normal.
It's a collect call.
It is, yeah, it's always right.
Do you
accept the collect call from Janet? That's right. But Brad, his friend calls and he'll go like this, hey, it's Pete. What's going on? And he's like,
my friend Brad doing?
And you're like, you're in jail.
You're not just in jail. You're in federal prison.
It's like Gene Wilder when they tried to break him in Stir Crazy, right? They put him in solitary. Just a few more days. I was really getting in touch with myself, right? They put him on the rack and they're stretching like, my back, my 20-year back problem, it's better. Thank you so much.
I have a very interesting group of friends.
Another ballot and issue, speaking of drugs. Marijuana on the ballot in a bunch of different states. Michigan was the voters okayed in Michigan, letting people over 21 use marijuana. Now, that is the decriminalizing recreational type use.
Good.
And it was individuals 21 and older can use marijuana recreationally, grow up to 12 plants for personal consumption.
Good.
And it imposes a 10-ounce limit for marijuana kept in residences. So 2.5 ounces and above must be locked in a container, so on and so forth.
And how do they come up with that? You know what? 10 ounces, that's the cutoff right there. They don't limit you to how many bottles of vodka you can have in your house.
Right, and by the way, these will all change.
I know they will. And it's just
this is step one, and it's so they can go back to the voters or anybody that's on the fence and go, hey, we didn't just let them grow a bunch of pot.
No.
Very limited.
Yeah.
And we got that amount because it's like, let's do some research tonight. You want?
Yeah.
Okay. On the baked scale, how many puffs do we get? How much do we need? That's really what they came down to. So another state, recreational use. And it finally comes to the Midwest now. Detroit was already decriminalized for recreational use. That was already.
Is there anyone left in Detroit to smoke it?
There's a handful. I've touched on this before. One of the wonderful little side benefits of what Detroit has gone through, that they had no money, they filed bankruptcy, went into default on everything, that Detroit was geographically designed and can house, I think, 2 to 4 million people. It might be 4, top out at 4, and I think at one point they had like 2.5 to 3, something in the city.
All right.
The city itself has, I think, under 500,000 now. It's very small.
Yeah.
They're all out in the suburbs, and it's still one of the wonderful things that's happened is the police stopped responding to certain calls.
Yep.
They had to prioritize. So it's like, I'm being murdered. We'll be right there.
Yeah.
And they did a fine job. But if you're walking down the street burning a doob, cops don't have time for that crap.
Nope.
So it became very libertarian, right? Victimless crimes, we're not worrying about those.
Yeah.
So
there was a special I watched on Detroit cops, and there's like a handful of them now. There are very few.
We had some of the other ballot initiatives.
Utah.
Yeah, was there the pot one in Utah?
Yep, it passed.
That's recreational?
No, it's medical.
I mean, medical rather.
It's
yeah,
medical. So
yeah, that's going to take a little while longer for recreational, but the
Mormons.
fact that medical is not across the country is stunning.
It really
We
is.
take far harder drugs from big pharma rather than just smoke something that's natural.
What was it? The 10 times as powerful opioid, the fentanyl. Remember the one they just the president just passed?
It's crazy.
10 times as powerful is what we have. Why I don't know. I mean, okay. But why do we need a 10 times as powerful drug if we have an opioid epidemic?
Well, I would say there may be some instance. Let me give you an example here. Let's say you got a great product for weight loss.
Right.
Okay, let's say we have Riduzone, for example. Riduzone.
Yes.
Go to riduzone.com. It's a great product for weight loss, and it works wonderfully for some people, most people. But let's say there are some people that have particularly
I've lost 24 pounds.
A powerful needs to lose.
Powerful needs.
I'm.
Who would you be?
Nobody in particular. I'm just saying. Let's say there's somebody.
Why are you pointing at Ron?
I'm not pointing at anybody.
Okay.
Just sitting here with my little arrow flag that says "Vote for me."
Pointing at Ron.
Maybe you'd need to amp it up a little bit. But for most of us, Riduzone works fan-friggin-tastic. That's their new logo, Riduzone, fan-friggin-tastic. Lose weight now. All you have to do is go to riduzone.com, order it, try it out for yourself. You're going to love it. Works on 2 platforms. Number 1, boosts your metabolism, and number 2, it makes you feel fuller. Get a jump now. Do you realize just 2 weeks away, Thursday, 2 weeks away from, Thursday, 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Would you like another beer?
I'm just making sure I got those dates right. Pull up my calendar. Tomorrow, 2 weeks from tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Get a jump on it now. Order so you'll have it.
You got this.
Edit that all out, Ron. Edit it all out. I don't want anybody to hear that. You want to finish this commercial for me?
Nope.
Okay.
You're doing just great.
2 weeks from tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Get a jump on it. So you'll have Thanksgiving. It's not like, you know what, I decided to start one of those crazy diets I saw on TV where they ship me the food. And don't worry, I can have Thanksgiving. Yum, yum. That was it. One little, great, that was my turkey.
Yep.
No, you can eat as much as you want. But when it comes to Riduzone, you're going to want less. You're going to feel a little fuller, so you eat a little bit less and it's going to burn more. So you're going to end up losing weight. People will wonder, how are you doing this? And all you have to do is tell them Riduzone, riduzone.com, riduzone.com.
By the way, life is about balance, so it's not like you're condemning yourself to a life for the rest of your life never having sweets, never having good stuff. It's about balancing out your lifestyle, and sometimes you just need a little kick.
And that's what it's about. It's going to help you out.
It really does work.
Also, now our big push because 2 weeks from Friday is Black Friday. We're giving people free commercials for you and your business. You know somebody, you can get free commercials on that day. No strings attached. I've done this the last couple of years for a couple of hours on Black Friday. We decided to do a 12-hour marathon this Black Friday. Sign up today. Get all the details at mojo50.com, and also register to win a prize pack that will end up being valued several $1,000s. Pistol from Tar River Arms is in there. We've got a Minuteman watch, a Yellow Jacket cell phone case that includes a stun gun. We've got some Mojo Wild Rice, mojowildrice.com that we'll put in there.
We've got it from
Dog Tag Furniture.
Furniture, yeah.
Yep, they're going to include one of their wooden flags in there. We got a gentleman who's going to give you artwork. He's going to help you design logos for your business or whatever. This is what he does, a graphic artist, which is really valuable. And he does great work. We'll tell you about that coming up. It's all at mojo50.com. Just register on the main page, and that'll help us out quite a bit to make sure that you get on. Also, ballot initiatives in some different states. Crime. Marcy's Law.
I was going to say they outlined crime.
No, they didn't actually. Oh. Instead, as much as I just told you we need criminal justice reform, this is crap. Marcy's Law is a leftist push for victims of crimes to have specific rights. If you are a victim of a crime, you have rights. Already, it's there.
Right.
The more they pass laws like this, the more it ends up hurting. Because the more laws like this, the more loopholes people find.
Sure.
If I say murder is wrong, and you say, wait a minute, this was self-defense, therefore it's not murder, I say, okay, and we take them on a case-by-case basis. But if I say murder is wrong with a knife, then you say, I hit him with a heavy blunt object, I'm clean.
Yeah.
You go, okay, knives are heavy blunt objects. I smacked him with a golf club.
Yeah.
Okay, I had golf. It's never ending with stuff like this.
It's attorneys.
Right, that's what this is really about.
Lawyers find ways in all of their flowery language.
And then minimum wage on the ballot in 2 states, and voted yes to increase the minimum wage in Arkansas and Missouri to $11 and $12 respectively. Arkansas going up to $11. I was approached on the streets of Bentonville just a couple months ago. Somebody wanted me to sign a petition for it.
Oh, boy, that was their first mistake.
I give them the opportunity to not hear my blah-bitty-blah. I do. My wife was with me, so I usually temper my comments anyways because she's known in town, local TV anchor there. But I give them the opportunity to not listen to me. So when they say, would you like to sign the petition? It's for such and such. No, thank you. And then they keep selling. And they go, it's for minimum wage because we need to raise the minimum wage in this state. And I go, no, thank you. I don't agree with that. You don't agree with it. You think people should be living wage? And then it's on.
Yep. Shaving a haircut.
I know. And then they try to walk away. No. Even when they turn their back on me, then I'm walking next to them. Because, sorry, I tried to let you go. And that's what happened. He goes, livable wage? And I go, what is a livable wage to you? Well, it's such and such. So you think people can live off of $11 an hour? Sorry, that's not a livable wage.
Nope.
I mean, is it more livable than $8 an hour? Sure. But is that really livable?
No.
No. Even in Arkansas, it's not livable.
No.
So why not get them a true livable wage? If you have a family of 4, that livable wage is probably going to be like $45, $50 an hour.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, fine. Why not that? Well, now you're just being crazy. Businesses can't. And then it starts.
Yes.
And my wife's like, seriously, you got to leave him alone. I'm like,
he's crying now. Doc, he's
that
crying.
way.
Leave him alone.
Sorry. I give you the option.
He's on the ground.
Let that be a lesson to you out there.
Tears are flowing down the sidewalk.
It was like my dad when the Jehovah's Witness showed up.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, my dad, he'd talk about anybody with the Bible all day long. Sure.
Invite him in.
I'm in the next room and a ding dong. Hi, we'd like to give you a copy of the Watchtower. Is that it? The Watchtower is a little fly. And talking about it, my dad's like, huh. And they start quoting. I start, well, it says here, and starts quoting. And my dad's like, no. It says this. Yeah. Now, they got their Bible. They got the little markers, little, what do you call those, little tabs?
Oh, yeah.
It's all highlighted, and they're like, it says here in Leviticus, such and such. My dad's like, off the top of his head. No, it said, and the Lord God said, thou shalt, and he starts quoting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they've wandered into a landmine minefield, and they have no idea how to get out.
Did he ever invite them in to sit down?
Oh, absolutely.
And then they start looking at their, we
really got to go.
Other sheep to tend.
And they're trying to catch up. Then we get to Revelation, right? And he's just off the top of his head, leaned back, and he's going, no, it says Revelations 12:13 that, and the 12th seal was, he just starts busting the stuff out, right? I am crying in the next room. So finally, they make an excuse, and they get the hell out of there, right? And as God is my witness, it's months later, and the story comes up with my sister. It's middle of the day. My sister's over, and I start telling her the story a couple months ago about the Jehovah's Witness coming to the door, and Dad, like spider to the fly, come on in, right?
Welcome.
Right. And as I'm telling her this, the doorbell rings. It's Jehovah's Witness. They've come back with reinforcements.
Wow.
The timing, amazing. And I was like, oh, watch this. Watch this. Dad invites him in.
Hold my beer.
And the elder's there. He's going to school him. I got the book, whatever. Finally, Dad goes, what book of the Bible is, or what version of the Bible is that? Oh, this is the Al Franken, 2016 new written, fangled, abridged something. And my dad goes, if that's not the King James Bible, then you're wrong. So you want me to tell you about it? I'll tell you. He starts trying to convert him.
Like father, like son.
It was awesome.
The acorn never falls far.
It's gold, Jerry. Gold.
From the oak.
Go hole.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah.
Make way for Matt Locke of the Conservative Cartel.
I believe we are.
All right, let's do this thing.
What do you mean it's let's go?
All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The end of your Daily Mojo live from FreedomWorks Studios in Washington, D.C. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that Thomas E. Dewey defeated Cruz last night to become the next senator from Texas.
Yes, he did.
I love that.
Close.
They were going to prop him up all day today.
Mm-hmm.
No, he really did win.
He won what we were going after.
You want to talk about living in denial that Ted Cruz cannot win in their brain.
No.
You know what? Beta still won.
Yes,
he still won, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, he did.
We also learned that even billionaires have to eat crap sometimes. Sad, but true.
Sad, but true. That it does kind of make you feel good.
I feel better about myself.
Yes.
Even Bill Gates has to eat crap.
Yeah.
We learned that it's time, someone said it, leftists are mentally ill.
Yep.
They're not emotional, they're mentally ill. They're crazy.
That's it.
And one way, it is a Can I start this over?
Yes, please do.
We learned that it is a red flag, mental illness red flag, if you cover yourself in your own menstrual fluids.
Jeez. I'd almost forgotten about her. Thank you.
She had the hairy pits.
Yeah, shut up.
Do you remember almost drinking the rainwater in
You
Chicago?
How
about eating
I'm
toenail
leaving.
clippings?
I'll leave. Oh. This is why no one likes you. This is why no one likes you.
These are things that get Brad so triggered that the lump is right here in his throat. And I've been collecting them in my head to just hit him with them one by one.
You'll be sorry one day. One day.
I want you to imagine washing that mouth of toenail clippings down with the rainwater from Chicago.
I cannot hear you. La, la, la.
Brad Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that John Stamos gives self-love a whole new meaning in a very creepy way.
Uncle Jesse's creepy.
Wow. Does he ever? I learned that Magic Johnson really did have a Magic Johnson. Thank you.
I was going there if you didn't do it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I wish I had a Magic Johnson.
I'm Magic Johnson of the LA Lakers. I learned that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to cost us millions in healthcare costs. We're going to have to hire a new flamenco guitar player full time now.
I know.
She's
hey,
around
what, if
forever.
anything, did the listeners learn today?
Oh,
Let's
my goodness. The listeners learned a ton, starting with Mojo Jedi, who learned the beer distributors in D.C. will be very sad to see Mojo 50 leave town.
That's right. We're going to hurt their sales,
Yes,
but they got a nice little spike yesterday.
Yes, they did. FreedomWorks, on the other hand, They've brought up people to help us move stuff out.
Thanks so much to the great folks at FreedomWorks for
Yes.
hosting us today. Please go to freedomworks.org and help them out. Really solid job. The staff and Adam Brandon, the president and CEO, ought to feel very proud of them because
Yes.
they did a nice job helping us out
Yes.
last night. Also, thanks to our sponsors, all of them, including Ridge Zone, who sponsored last night. And don't forget, Black Friday coming up 2 weeks from Friday, going to be a big, big event for us. I didn't get the new numbers up procrastination, but I do have those coming up tomorrow back in our Mojo 50 studios in Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes.
What is Ron? I'm sorry. What does Matt Locke have coming up?
Probably nothing. His voice is not lasted, so it'll be a very quiet, mellow.
All right.
Well,
remember your Daily Mojo today. A Ronnie Parkin
Phillips
Ron production.
Phillips. Yes.
Six Semper Tyrannis.
Yeah.
Good night, Steve Cannon.
Wherever
Wherever
you
you
are.
are. Anya, now you go home.
Ooh. Want a beer?
No, I want
You want
many
some vodka?
beers.
Okay.